guys are ridiculous. These guys are ridiculous.
Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another episode of How About Them Celtics. Sam and I are here recording on Friday, March 15th, ready to roll after Celtics win over the Suns. If you want our thoughts on that game, make sure to check it out. That's on the channel right now, its own video. A reminder to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the How About Them Celtics YouTube channel, 5 stars on all the podcast platforms. We'd appreciate it very, very much. Selection Sunday is today as you're listening to this. So we are going
Which
to
is why
back,
everyone is here.
Yeah. We're going to be bringing back Tyler Rucker of No Ceilings on the pod. He's been on with us before. He's done a playback with us before. He's a legend.
Yes.
He's a Celtics fan, or he grew up a Celtics fan. So he is here ready to roll, going to tell us about all the prospects Celtics fans should be watching out for during the draft. We'll talk some NBA Celtics as well. And we'll do the rat list with him during this section. So it won't be at the end of the pod. It'll be in the interview with Tyler. So yeah, let's throw it over to our chat with him. All right, we are here with Tyler Rucker of No Ceilings back on the pod. We didn't scare him away last time. Thank you, Tyler, for coming back. How you doing?
I'm just honored to be back on the show. I came running the moment you guys gave me the message. I was like, yes, I'm there. So thank you guys. Obviously go Celtics, but I'm happy to be back on with you guys.
Amazing. Usually people run the other direction.
No, never would run away from a Celtics podcast. You got to be kidding me.
Phenomenal. Well, Tyler Rucker, again, No Ceilings. Draft coverage is unbelievable. You guys have been ramping it up this year, too. We've been seeing, I know you guys have been doing a bunch of NBA stuff, too, covering prospects just in the league. Awesome, as always. But Selection Sunday is this Sunday. As you're listening to this, it is Sunday, which is weird because it's Friday. But it's today as people are listening to this, which means Celtics fans who are going to be watching March Madness need to know who to watch for, what could potentially be possible with the 30th pick. That's, I mean, realistically, 30th pick, you hear that, you're like, it doesn't matter. However, CBA, new rules, roster crunch could be important moving forward. And Sam and I, we may know NBA ball, but we don't know ball like that when it comes to college. So that's, we need you to educate us. Please.
I watched my first college game of the season yesterday for PC
no better
playing
time.
Creighton. Yeah.
No better time, and you're not the first one to be doing that. I'm sure there's plenty that are getting excited right now. No, it's going to be really interesting, especially when it comes to the Celtics with this draft class. I'm sure you guys have heard the buzz. You know, it's kind of a down year when it comes to the star power, but I think for teams like the Celtics, teams in the playoffs, it's a really, really intriguing year because there's a lot of depth. And I'm going to be very interested to see if Brad Stevens finally makes a first-round pick or if he trades back 5 more times. Because I do think at that point of the draft, there's going to be some really interesting talent, good range to get some depth on this roster. And, you know, like Jack said, like the CBA is a very important issue now that teams are going to have to pay attention to. So I think this could be a really interesting class for teams like the Celtics.
Yeah, I mean oh, wow.
Jinx.
Yeah, that was it. Just go ahead.
I mean, last year we did the draft stream. I sat there sweating literally because it was so hot as Brad Stevens traded back again. And I was planning on going to bed to catch my 6 a.m. flight, and I was just devastated. So that is a good point. And, you know, we've talked about the CBA here and there, and we've marveled at the importance of guys like Hauser, Kornet, all these guys that make no money for the Celtics, but they're still giving them serious production off the bench. And Hauser's one in particular because his contract's only through the end of next season. It wouldn't be the most shocking this year if they went in the draft and they had their sharpshooting goggles on looking around. So is there anybody in that range, from long range, I guess, to be watching throughout the month of March here as we watch all these tournament games?
Yeah, I think, you know, what's wild is they're supposed to be picking 30. The second round, if anyone's a diehard draft fan, you go look, every single pick almost has a protection or a swap right. It's ridiculous. It's been traded 15 times. So they also have 2 picks in the second as of right now. So things could get a little interesting. Obviously, you know, they could look to stash a couple guys, but I think 30, you could find someone, and, you know, we like Hauser, but you could find someone that maybe is a cheaper version that you could say, hey, he could come in and do a little bit of the same stuff. I think one guy that jumps to me that could be in that range is Tristan da Silva, and he's at Colorado, senior, 6'8", 6'9", one of those guys that just kind of understands how to play his role, can make smart decisions, doesn't turn the ball over a lot, and has versatility. They're kind of on the bubble. They might have to be one of those teams that's playing to get in. But he's one of those names that I think are going to have plenty of fans in NBA front offices. One of those picks that's not going to get you like, oh, this is sexy, but all of a sudden after summer league, you might be like, oh gosh, he's going to be a nice piece in the rotation. So I think that one jumps to me potentially as like a floor spacer. Trying to think of some other ones for you guys. I love Kevin McCullough. That's kind of going away from the Sam Hauser like experience, but he's more of the Marcus Smart defensive versatility. He's a senior. He's 6'7" at Kansas. Had a little bit of an injury bug lately. He's been trying to kind of come back, and then he's been playing hobbled. So I think medicals will be big for him, and that might be why he's on the board when the Celtics are up. But last couple of years, he's been one of the best defensive wings. You know, he plays 3 positions, but he can handle the rock. He can make the right play, just a winning player. And this year they were like, hey, we need someone to take on the load offensively. And he's been a monster when healthy. So I think he would be another name off the top of my head.
Yeah. I mean, like we said at the start, my first experience with college basketball this season was listening to Kim English stave off the questions of his marital status at the press conference last night. So that was my only like interaction with college ball this season. So I really need this this education session you're providing us. So I appreciate that. I pulled up the No Ceilings mock draft, and I'm like control F searching these names. I'm like, okay, I see. I see what we got going on right now. I think the shooting thing is important because I do think you need to start looking at potential Hauser replacements if he does become too expensive for Boston to retain past his current contract. You grew up a Celtics fan. You're a Celtics guy. If you think what direction do you think they go? Like, do you think they will target that shooting, or do you think maybe they got, a big, because they did trade for Tillman and Kornet's fine, but like maybe you want a little bit of Horford insurance once he retires? Like, do you think they need better guard play? Is it wings? Like, where do you see Brad going, and where would you go if you were Brad in this draft?
I feel like every year I'm always like, oh, they're going to add another big, and then they go another direction. And I'm like, okay, so maybe I don't know what I'm thinking when it comes to Brad Stevens, and I'm sure none of us do. But if you're going to get a big that I think could really thrive as a Celtic with this team and play their role to a high level, I think this is the year to do it. Like Oso Ighodaro at Marquette, I feel like would be a dream, like slowly bring along rookie, this plug and play in his rotation. Big Al could he just has the similarities, like really strong defender, got some playmaking chops, knows his role offensively. He's not going to be a guy you post up and let him go to work, but he also has a soft floater. He can handle his own down there. So I think bigs would be interesting. Every Celtic fan needs to open their eyes about the realistic of Zach Edey being a fan favorite. And I'm telling you, the buzz of the Celtics being interested in Zach Edey continues to get louder all year. I'm not a fan of it, but there's a lot of No Ceilings people that keep getting told the same thing. So there's some smoke about it. Yeah, I know.
See it
every
here.
Time. And I have to do the write-ups because I'm a Celtics fan for that pick. And every time we do those War Room mock drafts, everyone's like, Edey, man, we keep hearing it. And I was like, oh gosh. So yeah, pay attention to Edey. So I would be swinging for probably a little bit of an upside wing. Justin Edwards would be like a Brad Stevens special if he stays in the draft. He's at Kentucky, 6'8", lefty shooter. He was at one point one of the top recruits coming out of high school, and he's kind of just had a bit of a disappointing year, but lately has just started to look like a different human being on the basketball court. So I don't know if that could be kind of a Stevens saying, hey, we'll take a 6'8" wing and develop him and let him get his confidence cooking. So there's a lot of different ways. And this class is going to be, the deadline for if you're in or you're out is going to be more fascinating than ever this year, because there could be a lot of guys saying next year is supposed to be this stacked class. Like, I should just jump into this one, which is why I think teams like the Celtics could really find some depth.
Yeah. And we have heard endless about Zach Edey.
Oh, it's
what
It's driving me crazy, guys. I'm telling you. I'm in the trenches hearing from people, and they all
that's not good.
I'm like, come on, push it away. Give me some.
So we're having the battle. See, I am of the mind that I think Zach Edey will be a fine NBA player. Sam says he'll be bad, and so that's
everything I hear is just like he's awkward, like can't really move, and doesn't seem to be somebody that you're going to be able to switch on defense. Like, what is your like straight up analysis? Why do you think the people around the Celtics love him so much, and why do you not like him?
I don't like drafting him too early. It's not that I don't like Edey. His physique's been much better this year. He's got good touch around the basket. He's a humongous human being. So some teams saying, hey, he's 7'4", 300 pounds with soft hands and can protect the basket, and we can play him off the bench in our rotation as not a starter, but like you could get, Zach Edey's in there. What the heck are they going to do? Maybe it makes sense if you have the right pieces around him. And he has looked much better this year when it comes to his conditioning and his ability to kind of move around the perimeter. Like his physique looks awesome, and he's dominant. Like he's a freak to watch at college basketball, but there's people that have been like, hey, I'd take him in the top 20. And I'm like, there's no way I would take him in the top 20. Because I think when you're drafting that, you're saying you're buying into almost like changing your playing style down the road for Zach Edey playing heavy minutes. And that's where I get cloudy. But there's some guys that love him at no ceilings. And I'm just like, I have a fight with them every time. It's good fights, but I just like, you guys are crazy. So I think some team's going to say, if it's going to work, it's going to work for us. And the Celtics might be in a position where we're like, we'll roll the dice on this. Like, what if all of a sudden it does click and we have that beast off the bench? I don't know.
And do you think he could be like a Luke Kornet type? Like,
well, this is what I was going to say. I don't want it to be crazy. Like, I'm thinking he's going to be like Hakeem, right? I'm not into saying. I'm just saying if he can fall somewhere between the spectrum of Luke Kornet and Walker Kessler, then that's an effective NBA player. Like that's my thing for him.
At 7'4", 300. Like that's exactly. I get it. Like he's battle tested. He's played, with the World Cup and stuff. Like he's good. He's well deserved. It's just the modern NBA. It's like, how is this going to work? And I do think a team's going to look at each other and be like, okay, if we're a fan and we believe this could work, like why not roll the dice, especially with a roster like the Celtics or teams that are, contenders. They might be saying like, we can afford to see if this could work for us. And yeah, like what if he's Luke Kornet, but bigger, but just a giant?
Does he bring the same vibes though? Is he going to hit the dab after doing a sick dunk?
Which that
is really what we need here.
It's really important for team chemistry. People don't understand that. Like, I still can't believe he dabbed during a game. It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. But chemistry,
he said after the game,
that's why you want those guys around at the end of the roster because of chemistry stuff.
He said after the game, he was like, I haven't had social media in 6 years. So that was the last thing I saw on social media was people dabbing. So he's like, that was his excuse for why he was dabbing during the game. Even outside the Celtics realm, like everyone watches March Madness. Every basketball fan watches March Madness. You've seen guys like Dante DiVincenzo and others raise their stock based on the tournament alone and turn into like legitimately good NBA players. Like DiVincenzo's sick. He's killing it for the Knicks this year. Who are you looking at in this tournament as like, this guy has a real chance to boost his stock during the tournament, especially considering like, I don't think there's a clear cut 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 this year. Like, and some people could really have a chance to like boost their stock this year more than others.
Are you saying just in general or Celtics targets?
In general, it can be both, but in general, anybody that pops out in your mind, like who are you looking for? Like Tyler Rucker sitting down. I want to watch this guy because I think he's gonna be sick.
Reed Shepherd's been unbelievable this year. He's just so damn good. It's one of those things where I'll be that guy. He's a white guard. So everyone's like, I don't know if this can work. And he's listed at 6'3". Some people have told me they think that's very favorable. Him and Rob Dillingham of their height measurements for Kentucky. But he's stocky. He's shooting like 50, 88. He's been doing that all year. It's ridiculous how good he has been this year. And now people are kind of trying to pick his game apart, but he's also doing that while averaging almost 3 steals a game. So he's nasty. He's really made some momentum lately. If Kentucky has a deep run because they score a ton, I think he could get to where he's in the top 6 conversation right now, but I think he could start to try to get towards that like top 5, top 3, because I think he's just nasty and efficient. Dillingham's right there with him for the same reasons. Just they can light up in a hurry. Like it's NBA Jam mode with both of them. So those are the 2 big names. I mean, Cody Williams of Colorado, like I said earlier, they're on the bubble. So if they can win a couple games, maybe that helps him. But it's tough because a lot of the big guys in the top 10 are international or G League. Justin Edwards, who I just brought up, I think if Kentucky has a deep run and he can keep playing good, I think his stock's going to go skyrocketing, because beginning of the year, we thought he was a top 5 guy, and it was just been a tough stretch this whole season. And now he's starting to look really, really good. So that's probably the biggest one where I could see him really, really jumping.
Football season may be over, but the action on the floor is heating up. Whether it's a tournament season or the fight for a playoff home court, there's no shortage of high-stakes basketball moments this time of year. Get in on the excitement with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app, where you can turn your hoops knowledge into serious cash. Testing my skills on Prize Picks this season is the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. If you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $1,000 with just a few taps. Prize Picks is really simple to play, and I can make my picks and submit my entry in less than 60 seconds. Download the app today and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. Use the code CLNS for the first deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy.
Has there been anybody that's impressed you? I mean, we're in conference championship week here. Like this week in particular, have there been any risers? I mean, it's tough to rise in like 3 games, but that have really just stuck out and could be on a track to be a tournament legend or just anything like that? It's a tough question, I suppose.
No, I'm trying to think who could. A tough part is a lot of those guys that I think could really take over the tournament have been banged up, and I think they're waiting for the March Madness to start so they can play. Like Tyler Kolek, I think could be a sleepy Celtics target because
played against him before.
Amazing.
High school. Yeah.
Amazing. So like I love Tyler Kolek because
I've said this before.
This is an unbelievable thing. We should have started.
They lit us up. Him and his brother lit Pilgrim High School at back.
Yeah, if he's in the draft, I assume he lit your ass up. Of course he did.
But lefty senior guard Marquette, he's been banged up. I think they're waiting to kind of be like, hey, just let's wait for the tournament. You're fine. But he hasn't been playing right now, but I think he could go crazy in the tournament. I think he would be. You want to talk about vibes? Celtics little lefty white guard that he's the best press conference person I've ever seen as a prospect. Like he is unbelievable in press conferences. So yeah, vibes would be very high if they drafted him. Gosh, who else could take over? Houston's got a scrappy senior guard, Jamal Shed, that probably they're going to be really tough. So he could be one that kind of gets cooking. But no one really hasn't jumped out right now in conference play that I'm like, oh, they're going to take over the tournament too. Colin Murray Boyles is a guy that's he's skyrocketing up boards right now. Freshman, kind of Julius Randle vibes, but the outside shots. What if I said here? Let me fix that pitch. Kentucky Julius Randle, that's obsessed with defense.
Okay,
but his outside shot is not ready yet.
He doesn't have the freedom to like fumble around just yet and fall all over the place.
No, not yet. But he's like super nasty defensively and finishes. He's talented. So he's looked good lately. He had a bad game today. They're going to be a tough team to watch. He's at South Carolina. So I mean, it's a tough year. It's a lot of guys could get heating up, but I think everyone's looking at Kentucky's duo to make some noise and really cook.
As soon as you said Julius Randle, I was like, Sam's going to hate it forever now.
He's gonna hate him. I hate it too. I should have prefaced it the right way.
Okay, so as we've said time and time again, I haven't paid attention enough, but despite that, there are a few names that I know that I want to ask you about.
Yes.
Whether or not it's like I know them because it's good or I know them because of like other stuff. The first one is, I'm gonna see if you can guess what I'm talking about. I'm on TikTok a lot. And so there was like a 3-week stretch where Jared McCain
yeah, come on.
is all I saw.
What I do.
And it was the I'm 2 days into college. Like the whole, I don't know if you saw them, but all it was me and my friends sending them back and forth to each other. We'd be playing video games and we'd start singing it. And then the other people in the video game would sing it back to us. Like that is how like viral this guy was. He's been one of my favorite people to like listen to talk on social media. He just seems like a cool guy in general. How good is he at basketball? Because I don't know anything about his basketball
he's
skills.
Stud.
He's sick. Okay.
Him. I wanted him for the Celtics like all year. I was like, there's no way Brad Stevens would pass this guy up. He's just winning player, hockey assists. He just understands how to make your team better. And then he started cooking when one of their guys got hurt.
Oh no!
And I was like, oh gosh, he's not going to be in the range anymore. And now it's like he's top 20. So Brad might be trading up to go get him. Like he's just a perfect type of player. And the funny thing is with that TikTok trend, I hadn't seen it at all. And I posted something on our social media about Jared McCain, and literally like 80 quote tweets were that line of the song. And I was like, what the heck is this?
Have you seen it?
And I was like, I'm so old. And then our social media girl who she's been working with Miami's women's basketball team this year. She's like, oh, it's a song. And I was like, I hate how old I feel right now. So,
have you seen it since?
No, I don't want to see it.
Can I pull it up? You don't want to see it?
I haven't seen it. So
can I pull it up? Can I come on, let me pull it up.
If you want to pull it up, go for it.
It's so catchy. Hold on.
This will be the one thing I remember when the draft rolls around. I'll be like, I remember this guy. Tyler said he'd be a good Brad Stevens guy.
They play the song. I'm just like,
yeah, so it is just. So the backstory, the context here is this girl made a TikTok song, like completely irrelevant. Like it had nothing to do with Jared McCain. Like she just made a song like 2 years ago, posted on TikTok, and it went kind of viral. And then Jared is just very present on TikTok, and he sang the song. And so everybody clipped him singing the song and then made an edit blending into her song with just all of his highlights. And so you go on TikTok and you see I'm 2 days into college, and this is all you see now. Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm 2 days into college and I'm 3 lectures behind. There's this guy, let's name him Colin. He said he wants to be mine,
but it doesn't really sit with me.
Just his highlights. And this isn't like
playing as a trash can.
Warm in the middle of the night. I wait.
That's brilliant.
Video.
There is with me quite right because he doesn't.
There's just his cards. There is.
I keep accidentally knocking myself out of my dorm in the middle.
It is just
literally every
comment
comment that I could post something about McCain and someone immediately was like, he's only 3 days into college, and I'm like, gosh, guys, get a new line. You're not the first one to think of that, so it's just funny. That's amazing.
They packed the Duke gym and just had him sing it to the crowd. Like this guy is a superstar. So I just wanted to get a is he good or is he just viral? But
he will be remembered.
He's good. He's like 6'3". He also rebounds like crazy. So like he can shoot, he can rebound, he knows how to make the right plays. Like he's gonna have a lot of fans. So he's been cooking right now. I would have loved him as a Celtic, but yeah, it was funny because we saw him last year in Portland at Nike Hoop Summit, and like we went up and we were like talking to him, and great kid. And then we were like driving home, and I looked him up on Instagram, and I was like, he has how many followers? It was like, so he's like a superstar on social media. I was just like, my goodness. Okay. Sorry.
He's big time. He's crazy.
Good for you.
Sam, do you have any names?
What else you got, Jack?
I've got more. Do you want me?
I don't have any names. You know me.
So another one I've seen mostly because of your guys' posts is Dalton Knecht. Is that how you say his name? I've seen him like connect. Even better, Connect 4. If he's not number 4, he has to be number 4, right? Like what are we doing? But I've seen him because you guys post about him all the time that he's just like soaring up boards right now, right?
Yeah, he's probably in the lottery. He's really awesome story. He was at really low recruit. I think he had a big growth spurt. I might be missing some cool parts, but anyways, like huge basketball adversity journey. He was at Northern Colorado last year, transferred to Tennessee, and he's just been one of the best players of college basketball this year. So it's pretty cool. But he's just like he'd be a Sam Hauser replacement dream because he hits some catch and shoot shots that you're like, how did you get that off? And he's just very, very dangerous. The But yeah, he's really, really good. I think he's going to be in the lottery.
Oh, wow.
Older, but I think teams are going to be like, we need a shooter. Oh, Dalton Connect's probably the best one in this class. So yeah, he's a stud. Really cool story. Really cool kid. I think our Maxwell Bombach on our team interviewed him at the beginning of the year, and he's just like, oh, he's a great kid. So
Very
good,
cool.
good stuff about him.
That is awesome. Another one is going back to Duke, the tripping scandal, rush the court, Kyle Filipowski.
Oh, yes.
Well, first of all, just thoughts on that whole situation. Are you big on court storming? Are you end it shouldn't happen ever? Like, where do you fall in that debate?
I'm big on court storming. I am big on court storming if you're a true underdog. Like,
yeah, okay.
Some fans stormed the court this year and they were not ranked. The other maybe it was that game. I think they were actually Duke was not the favorite in that game, but they were ranked maybe or someone else. It happened this year, and I was like, okay, you could argue then that like they should have court stormed because you were point spread favorites at home. But now I'm like, it was funny because I was like, this is terrible. We got to ban court storming. And then they showed the overhead camera view. And I was like, oh, okay, Kyle, that was a little cheap, whatever. So,
Caitlin Clark also fell victim to the court storm.
Yeah. Yes. So I don't know. Where are you guys sitting with the court storm?
The Celtics should be doing every game. Let me out there.
I posted Larry Bird running off when they won the title, and he's just throwing elbows. And I was like, this is the real court storm.
Yep. Well, if you run on the court, yeah, I agree. I think it's part of college. But if you run on the court, I think and you're going to mess with the players, you run the risk of getting tripped. Like, you deserve to get tripped if you're going to mess with them. So
100%. I would, if I was on the court and you're running on there, I'm throwing bows like Larry Bird. Like 100%. It's fair game. So, but Filipowski, I'm not the biggest fan. Before all of that, I wasn't the biggest fan. I just have questions about his game. The highs are very impressive. In theory, you're getting a 7-footer that could space the floor, and he's got a little bit of a mean streak around the board, so it sounds really good. But the highs are really good, and the lows are like, oh, okay. So it's a tough one. But I know there's going to be probably some fans in NBA circles. I think he's probably going to be lottery top 20 at worst, but we'll see.
Okay. Interesting.
I will say this from everyone I've talked to, like teams are like the second part of the draft process when it comes to the combine and everything. Like they said, more important this year than it ever has been, because I think this year everyone has to measure now with like the new rules. And I think just teams are just so uncertain with a lot of these guys.
Gotcha. Okay, before we get to the crown jewel, which I know is the last name in college basketball we want to talk about, I have 3 rapid fire ones I'm going to call the 2K group.
Okay.
Because these are the guys that when I downloaded a 2K draft class, they were just on All-NBA first team for the first 3
And I do have questions, but just not about specific guys.
Okay.
I got
these can be quick questions, right?
Yeah, no problem.
Kel Ware is a name that just dominated 2K draft class. Ron Holland, who I know is a lottery prospect as well, and then also Matas Buzelis, if that's how you say it. Those 3, every time I download a TK draft class over the past few years for this year, All-NBA first team every year. So just curious where that falls on the spectrum.
Buzelis it's like 6'10". He at high school like shot the crap out of the ball. He was like 45% from 3 with a really good looking shot. This year it just hasn't come around. He started to play way better lately. He's looked better defensively. I feel like he's like people wanted him to be a 3. I feel like he's more of a 4-3 that like you could play on the perimeter. He's just everyone wants to say he's Franz Wagner, and I'm like, no, Franz was much smoother and quicker. Buzelis is still trying to figure out his body. There's a lot of talent, a lot of upside with his game. I'm a little bit lower on him personally, but I still I have him in my top 10. Some people want to take him in like 4, and I'm like, I'm not there. Ron Holland is really fun when you're watching highlights because he's just a demon in transition and has athleticism. Kind of just the consistency needs to come around a little bit more with his outside shot and defense. I think he averaged more than 2 steals a game, but like just sometimes you're like, is that stats? Is it empty stats or what? So he's going to have some questions too. The funny thing is all these guys, like I could ask one person from this team and one person from this team, complete different answers. Like some will be like, oh, I have him way later in my first. Some will be like, I have him as a top 5 guy. Like, and you could have that about 20 people this year. Ware's really interesting because he was a top recruit coming out of high school, went to Oregon, nightmare freshman year, like just couldn't get on the court. He's 7 foot that can shoot, transferred to Indiana and with Mike Woodson, and they just force feed him. And he's been on fire lately, but NBA teams are kind of questioning his motor. So it's at a point of like, he's been so damn good. He can block shots. He can shoot the ball. He's 7 foot. Someone on our team went and saw him live and he's like, he's lengthy as heck. So can a team buy into is everyone going to be convinced that the low motor and he might slip and be on the board for the Celtics? Or is he going to be someone that someone's like, hey, we're taking this kid early. We'll figure it out. He's going to end up with a Heat some way and I'm going to be puking. But I don't know if he's a Heat culture guy. So I don't know.
Yeah, he sounds like the opposite.
Yeah, exactly. So you never know. They're not going to make a bad pick because I can't stand the Heat always make good picks. It drives me nuts.
They truly do. Like last year, we talked about Jaime Jaquez when you came on before the draft. And not only did they pick him, he has been excellent. He has had a great rookie season and has really, really looked comfortable playing at the pro level.
Yeah. So it's tough because this is the year I think you could find those guys. If you're a playoff team, you're like, well, we don't want to trade up too high because there's a lot of questions with those guys. But if you wait a little bit, you can get some good value.
It's true. So this is not the crown jewel question. This is a very important question, though. If I have a friend, he is a Pistons supporter, and he may not be the brightest, but if you were the Pistons,
the friend is him. This is like he is the friend. It's not
like, Sam, come on, man. I know you. I was like, come on.
That's right. But if you were the Pistons heading into this draft, this is a very difficult season. You had the record losing streak. You are still not the best at losing somehow. You are above the Wizards right now. You are not eliminated from playoff contention as we record on Friday. And you are looking for the next piece that is going to help your team get back to the pinnacle. You've been terrible for years. You've had one winning season since 2008. Who is there even a guy in this draft that Pistons fans should be excited about? Not that any of them are listening, but I am curious.
I think it's going to come down to Alex Sarr, who's overseas with Perth. He was with the Overtime Elite last couple of years. And that's a big, which is why it gets so confusing for me with the Pistons. I mean, we've been talking about the Pistons in our group chat all year. We're like, what the heck do they do? Because their team should be better. Like they have the pieces.
Agree.
I love their talent. Their team should be better. I don't know what Monty was doing, not playing Jaden Ivey for the first half of the year. Maybe they're trying to trade Killian Hayes. Their team should be better. And this is a tough draft if you're going to have the number 1 pick because Sarr, they had a pair of exhibition games at the beginning of the year against the Ignite, and he looked like a god on the court. Like he was just absolute dominant. He's 7'1", 215. He glides around the court. He's really athletic. He looks really impressive, and his defense is special. But I don't know how it fits with Jalen Duren. So if you're buying into that, he makes all the sense in the world because he's the biggest swing. Zachary Ricochet is still one of the guys I love for them because, excuse me, guys.
You're good.
Because he's like 6'8". I saw him at Nike Hoop Summit last year with a couple of No Ceilings guys, and he was the big international buzzing prospect after Victor. The last couple of years, like okay, after Victor, it's Ricochet, and he's 6'8", 6'9", wing. And when I saw him there, I was like, oh, I don't know. Like he just looked very timid and uncomfortable. And then they played at FIBA, and he looked the same. He looked uncomfortable. And then he transferred this year to play for a new team, and he's looked like everyone insulted his mother. Like he's just been playing super aggressive, dunking on people, and he's become kind of a sniper from deep. So, and he's a good defender, versatile defender. So there's not a lot of creation with his game, but I think that fits really well with the Pistons because he could be a shooter that plays good defense, has good size, and there's still upside. So the funny thing is a lot of people in the draft space will be like, Ricochet can't create. And I'm like, well, he doesn't need to. He's 6'8" and can shoot and plays good defense. Like that's check for a lot of teams right away. And I think he's only going to get better. So it's a good dilemma. I still like Ricochet for the fit of what the Pistons need. But if they're swinging again, I understand taking it on Sar.
I mean, they do have like good players on the Pistons.
Yes.
Like Cunningham is a legitimately good player. He had multiple 40 bombs towards the end of that losing streak. One of them, I think he had 40 against the Celtics. He was a huge part of that game for them.
I've not sold one single share of my Cade Cunningham stock. I'm still a huge fan. And I like Ivy and I like Jalen Duren. I think they just got to keep chipping away and you got to hit on this one. You know, they've
had to hit for a while.
Exactly.
The lottery go well last year.
Yes.
Did not.
So you just gotta hit on this one. It's tough. And it's a tough draft to be picking top 5. It's really scary to be picking up.
That's everything I've heard. That's why, like, I mean, I don't really care, but I would like to see them succeed. Like, I don't want them to be terrible anymore. The league is more fun.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. They're what everybody thinks that the Knicks are. Like, everyone's like, the basketball is better when the Knicks are good. No. When the Pistons are good, basketball is better.
I mean, when we had the Ben Wallace days, like, the basketball was awesome.
Yeah. Last time the Pistons were good, Celtics won a title. It was great.
Yeah, it's fantastic. We need that again.
I can't. I'll never understand your obsession with the Pistons. Is it just because you picked them 2 years in a row to be good and now you're just too far deep? Like you just have to keep
yes and no. Like I did think they would be okay this year. Like I thought they would be hovering around the play-in. They have legitimately good pieces on that team. They just haven't put it together.
I thought they were going to be much better this year. I thought they were going to take a big step this year.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate because it hasn't transitioned to wins, but I think they're a better team than the record when they're playing the right guys.
I also think they had a good trade deadline.
They did.
Vecchio, Ben Good, Grimes, good piece. They're ready.
Vecchio. Says his name wrong.
Have to nail the draft. It's a must.
Yeah, you need to. All right, Tyler.
Right before we get into Celtic stuff, this will be our last thing.
Yeah, this is the last draft thing. We have to ask you about Bronny James. We can't not, like, it needs to be done. We've gone back and forth. Sam is saying, like, Sam is all the way out. I'm not all the way in, but I'm not all the way out. So, like, I find the middle ground. What's the deal? Like, what is happening?
I hate to keep bringing it up, but I saw him in Nike Hoop Summit last year too.
Yeah.
And I saw a week of practices, saw him scrimmage a bunch, then saw him playing the game. He's a weapon defensively. He's very good. He seems like he had a good teacher because he has good fundamentals with angles, and like he would be a pest defensively, even being, little undersized for a combo guard, if you want to put it that way. But he's not ready, and I don't think he should declare. I will not be shocked if he does declare for the obvious reasons, the elephant in the room. I think the only reason he would declare is if, like, the Lakers gave LeBron a nudge of, we're going to draft him, because he's just not ready. Like, no, he needs time. He needs to build some confidence. He had the cardiac arrest or the heart problem in the beginning of the offseason, and he was out forever. And then he's trying to play catch up, and that team is brutal. It's been a rough year for USC. So I would love for him to take another year and really work on his game and kind of put this behind him. But, I get it. If everyone's going to smirk, because he's probably going to go test the waters, just because we all know how that works, and most guys should go test the waters. But, there's flashes, but he's not ready to be an NBA guy, in my opinion, right now. Now, maybe the Lakers take him and put him in the G League and let him grind for a year, and you're pre-drafting him to let him loose the next year. But I don't know. It's going to be really interesting. It's going to be a wild card. But in terms of, like, I'm evaluating Bronny just on what I've seen this year, and not with him, I don't care that it's LeBron's kid. I'm evaluating him, and no, he's not ready. But there's a talented basketball player there that could play at the next level for a very long time. I just don't think he's ready to take that jump, and I don't want him to go too soon.
That's kind of what I've said. As much as I don't like LeBron, I think he's a pain in the ass. And I think he might end up screwing his kid over if he ends up like having him rush into the league. Like, there is no doubt that this guy could be in the NBA, but he just, like you said, does not seem ready. The numbers are not there. And when we've had this discussion in the past, Jack has shown examples of guys that have had similar statistical numbers. Like Peyton Watson gets drafted to the Nuggets. Really, I guess didn't play a whole lot as a rookie last year, but he was much more impactful this year. I mean, he played well against the Celtics twice. What do you think goes into some of these guys, like a Peyton Watson, being ready, being a first-round pick versus Bronny, who has basically the same stats? Like, what are you looking for necessarily with low stat guys?
With Peyton, it was, it's something I would, when I was working in the industry, trying to kind of grind my way up, and I was learning from scouts, and one of the things they always said was like, hey, don't let 1 year tell the whole story. And what they mean by that is like, we've been watching these guys throughout high school and evaluating them when they're playing overseas with Team USA, and we've kept an eye on them. So like, if they go and play a one and done year and they don't do anything, we still are weighing like, hey, was it a good situation for them? And Peyton Watson came in before before that season at UCLA, he was a projected top 14, 10 pick because he was 6'9" with playmaking ability, and everyone's like, he's a monster on defense. Like if he could just unlock the outside shot. And he was so funny because I saw UCLA live and he was struggling to get minutes, and they checked him in and he had like 2 steals and a block in like a minute. And I was just like, play this kid. He's all over the place. So that's where I think a team like the Nuggets saw, and they're like, we don't care about the lack of production because we see the tools, we see the upside. We have the roster to let those develop and be patient. Now he looks really good. When it comes to Bronny, he was a lower recruit. I know he's LeBron's kid, but he wasn't a top 10 recruit. And he's 6'3", 6'4". The outside shot, he needs to be a good outside shooter, a respectable one, to pair with that defense, because there's playmaking is a little inconsistent. Like he could get erratic with his passes, but there's good flashes to build off of, especially with the defense. So I just think Bronny needs some time, and it's okay. But I would not want to rush him too fast because it would crush his confidence. But if he wants to get to the league and spend a year with, the South Bay Lakers playing against the Maine Celtics, then maybe that's what Bronny wants to do. JD Davison and Bronny pay-per-view.
My thing was never like he's ready to play in the NBA. My argument was always, if he enters the draft, he is getting drafted. That's my whole thing. I think if he enters the draft, I don't think there's a way he goes undrafted, especially to your point. Like, if anything, the Lakers are just going to take him their pick. Yeah, I think so. That's my whole thing. But Sam, any more draft questions? You want to talk some Celtics?
Yeah, talk Celtics. I don't really have anything else. I was interested in that Watson angle because I was so confused by it when we had the conversation, but it makes sense. The tools were there.
It's always a thing that drives us crazy. And like Justin Edwards, who I brought up earlier, is like in that category of Peyton Watson of like, he's only averaging like 10 points a game, but now he's starting to play good. So it's like, are you buying into the previous and you're ignoring this year? Like he's going to be a name where we're like, is he going to stay in? Like we're just, there's a lot of those guys. Like, are they going to stay in the draft, or they're going to return and try to take a huge step forward in a class next year that is going to be well worth the hype? Like it is really special next year.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
So should the Celtics give everything for Cooper Flag?
Probably. I mean, I can't touch anyone. Like Jalen's looked unbelievable in the second half of the season, so I can't touch him. Yeah, everyone's gonna want Cooper Flag. He's just a stud. But there's like a bunch of guys up there that are just like, woof, it's gonna be a fun year.
I'm devastated. It's not gonna work out. I'm devastated.
Everyone in New England is excited about Cooper Flag. I like AJ DeBonsa because he's from 5 minutes that way from me. So I'm all in on the Brockton Mass kid because that's right.
That's like the next 2 years that are. Is he? Gosh, it's all
AJ DeBonsa.
I think
26. I think.
Yeah. So
25.
those are the names. Cooper and AJ. It's like when those guys are coming in, those are the alphas in the class.
New England up.
New England's back.
I've heard nothing but good stuff about AJ. I know he was at Tatum's camp or something, and I think he was one of the younger guys there, and they were like, "Oh gosh, he's kicking everyone's butt." So I was like, "Yeah, that's a good sign when you're that young."
Yes, sir. Speaking of Tatum, we can talk Celtics. We know you're a Celtics guy.
Oh, I just come on. This is what you guys do, so I get to feel like I'm right at home. How are we feeling?
I love it. I'm feeling good. Sam's.
I'm feeling good.
I can never tell how you're feeling.
I can't feel good though.
Yeah, no, this is Sam's issue.
I'll do the quick version. I have felt good every single year at some point since 2018. 2018, you thought they would have a great team, then Hayward gets hurt, and then they kind of tease you again to try and get the finals. 2019, that was supposed to be a super team, blows up. 2020, they built you up, get to the conference finals, fail. 21, you think they're going to be able to replicate it. They can't. 22, should have won the finals. 23, should have at least got to the finals. And then this year, you look like the best team on the planet, and I'm just waiting to get hurt again.
Yeah, every year I'm waiting to get hurt. I'm right there with Sam. I feel the exact same way. It's one of those things where if they don't win this year, I'm going to be like, well, what else can you do?
Yes.
Yeah. And then
that's the scary part.
Yeah, I hinted to you guys before we hit record. I was like, I feel unbelievable. And then the Nuggets loss just like really humbled me because I was like, why did we lose that game so easily? And with the numbers, it made no sense. You look at the box scores, like, are you like, what? And then Jokic is just really damn good at his job.
Nuts. He's so good.
Makes it easy for everybody.
This all spawned. We got an email from RJ, who's like loyal listener, sent us emails for all of our segments. And he said, I'm trying my best to enjoy the moment. This team's amazing. We got to enjoy it. And that email spawned Sam
him in the chest.
Yeah, that spawned Sam. Sam goes, yeah, me too. But they better fucking win. They suck.
They better win.
The moment. That's not enjoying the moment. That is the opposite of enjoying.
Well, that's what I said. I said I can't enjoy the moment anymore. I can't.
I'm right there with it. I can't enjoy it. I'm so stressed from past years that now, like, I've been enjoying this season. It's been great. But now I'm at the point I'm like, okay, I don't care. Let's get to the playoffs. Like, it's time. Let's see what really happens. I'm really annoyed with just I need like Tatum to take that next leap in every. The problem is he does it in the playoffs. He did that Milwaukee series where I was like, oh my gosh. But I just feel like every time they get crunch time and it's the same offense, always comes back from the dead. And I'm like, can we please just keep the ball moving and do what we just did for the first 3 quarters when we were up 20 instead of just playing ISO ball? It drives me nuts, but they're good. I just need him to be healthy. Porzingis is the best person ever. So I need him to stay healthy. He rules.
And he's great because he adds another layer to that late game offense, or he should. He's super clutch. His numbers are great, efficient. He doesn't really miss that many clutch shots, and they can use him, post him up at the free throw line, make the defense sweat just by giving him a touch there. And if he is healthy, they should have less problems late in the game. Derek White's another one where it's like that guy doesn't miss clutch shots either. So you have 2 extremely clutch guys. You just need to figure out how to get the ball to them in the right way and not have your final possessions be dribble, throw it off the back of the rim. The Cleveland possession was awful where Tatum took the fadeaway and they call a foul, and it was a terrible foul call regardless. And then it wasn't a foul, and they lose. And that's fine. It took the focus off them collapsing. The collapse was like a fake collapse because the way Cleveland got in that game was like divine intervention, Dean Wade becoming unbelievable. And then the Celtics go ice cold, which they don't really do. So that was a tough one. The Denver game sucked because it really never felt like they had control of it. And then when they did get to the clutch, they actually got Tatum a good shot from ball movement. It was transition, but it was actually a good shot. Like after the Cleveland game, I said to Jack, I said, you know what I'd like to watch a game, see them not win, but be like, I'm okay with the shot they got. And that's kind of what happened in Denver. So that is a little bit of growth, even if it had to be a transition bucket. So if they can continue to just get some sort of movement late in the game, I think they'll be okay. because these other guys just stand around. That's what we like talked in circles and eventually found out. Like, yeah, okay, well, Tatum's dribbling, but no one's doing anything to help him.
Yeah, and I'm a big believer. Like, I know it's annoying to some, but like I'm a big believer of like there's good losses, and I feel like they were just cooking and kicking everyone's butt. And the Cleveland one was not a good loss. The Cleveland one was like this is stupid. But I thought the Denver one was a good, like, you haven't won anything yet. You got a lot of work to do. It was just demoralizing because I was like, oh, are they just another level above us after this historic year? Are they just, but I'd love to get that 7 games of that. I'd be like, this is the best basketball ever. Let's just enjoy it. Whatever happens, happens. Hopefully the Celtics win in 6.
I disagree.
Don't say it, Sam.
It would be terrifying. Winning the Eastern Conference Finals and then just having the moment of, oh, against Jokic for 7 games, I'm gonna have a heart attack. I don't know. I think it's good now that, like, okay, finish this season strong. Well, they got Milwaukee coming up soon. That'll be an interesting one.
Yes,
but I don't know. I'm terrified of the Heat in the first round. That's what I'm terrified of.
I can't decide how I feel yet.
A lot of our commenters say, give me the Heat in the first round, get it over with, and exercise the demons, because they think it's to the point where they're just like, Celtics are so much better than the Heat. My thing is, that's what we said last year. That's what we said the year prior. The Heat are an eternal ghost that never stops trying to kill you. And I don't care what you say. I don't care how bad the offense looks this year. I don't care about all the numbers. I don't care if Jaime Jaquez is on a cold streak like he's been at points throughout the season. They have Jimmy Butler.
Yes.
And this isn't a, screw the Heat. This is respect the Heat, because they're annoying as hell to play against.
What do we need? Duncan Robinson hitting 5 threes in the first half? Like, I don't want to deal with them at all. It is full respect from me for the Heat. Every year we think the Heat are dead. They're zombies. They come back to life right around the playoffs. Jimmy Butler knows what he's doing. I don't want any part of them. Like, but I also understand, like, if the first round happened, I'd be like, okay, go take care of business and set the tone for the playoffs. But yeah, it's going to be wild and crazy. And if they're just healthy, I love our shot against anyone, but I'm just terrified at the beast in Denver right now. Really just like got real estate in my head from that game, but you never know.
The good thing is the West is like kind of strong enough to where you can convince yourself, well, maybe Denver won't be there. Maybe like the Clippers will beat them, but I don't love the matchup against the Clippers, to be honest with you.
Right.
But maybe OKC will beat them, and they're another team that's beat the Celtics this year. So like there are good teams out West, but they have also played the Celtics well. So I don't know what to think. I don't want to think about that just yet. As far as Miami goes, I low-key do feel like it's good to play them early before you go into the playoffs and it is okay, we need to be serious. Because last year it almost felt like, all right, Celtics just got through Philly, took them 7 games. We can relax now. It's just the 8th seed. And they kind of got punched in the mouth twice, blew games 1 and 2, and never really recovered. They brought everyone's hopes up and then just ruined it. It was awful. The worst way to lose. When it was happening, I was like, I would rather just get swept than have to get excited.
So what would happen right now if...
It's a good question. Right now it's Celtics 1, Cleveland 2, or no, Milwaukee 2, I think.
And then if you 1-8 and then you win that, I always get confused. What does it go to next?
Okay, so right now we have Celtics 1, Bucks 2, Cleveland 3, Knicks 4, Magic 5, Pacers 6. That would be the playoffs no matter what. Then you have Philly 7, Miami 8, Chicago 9, Atlanta 10. So 7 would play 8. The winner of that plays 2. Then the loser of 7-8 plays the winner of 9-10, and then they are the 8th seed.
Okay. So in theory, it's Boston, Miami. And then what's the next round? That's the one I always get annoyed.
I think it would be the Celtics would play 4-5.
4-5.
Yeah, they play 4-5. Yeah. Ew. So it'd be Knicks or Orlando, which is also 2 very physical, annoying teams to play against.
It's a bar fight.
In an ideal
you have Julius Randle there. He'll trip all over the place. And
this is my ideal pathway for the Celtics, right? I don't care if Embiid comes back or not. Miami beats them in the 7-8 game. They go play Milwaukee. Cool. Sick.
Great.
See you later.
Great.
Philly gets in the bottom. Choke job. Chicago or Atlanta. Don't care which one. Either one. Bring them. Right? Easy 8. After that, you could the rest of this little like middle of the pack blah is like as annoying as it'll be to play the Knicks, Magic, or Pacers. It is what it is. Realistically, I think the Celtics are better than all 3 of those teams. Of them, I'd probably rather them see. I'd probably the Magic because they don't have the playoff experience. And then past that, the conference finals, you got to play a good team anyway. So I think if you get Bulls or Hawks and then Magic, Knicks, Pacers, like I feel like that's the easiest possible path for the Celtics to get to conference finals.
Yeah, I mean the Knicks would be a fantastic series. Celtics in 6, but
haven't beat the Celtics this year.
Oh, there you go. Celtics in 4.
They haven't played them with OG yet, but they have not lost to the Knicks.
All right, fine. Celtics in 5. I get it. No, I hear you. I mean, I feel like all roads are going to lead to having to get through Giannis and Doc.
Yep.
Which poetic. Having to beat Doc to go get the first title since a long time.
They're a mess. They're a mess in Milwaukee.
They're back to being bad.
They're back to being bad? I haven't. Oh,
They were bad, then they were good, and then they're bad again. They got killed by the Sacramento Kings. Then who'd they lose to yesterday, Jack?
They beat Philly yesterday, but it was close.
It was close.
Okay.
They brought them down to the wire. Yeah, the Bucks are weird. They won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in a row, and everyone thought they were back. But nestled in there between a win over the Clippers and Timberwolves was Philly, Charlotte, Chicago. So like, let's pump the brakes a little bit, guys. Yeah, man, the Celtics, they just look so different this year. Like this is not, and this the way I contextualize it, like you guys say, oh, past years, like I'm worried about that. Like I am with you, but like the way I'm contextualizing it is like this is not even close to the same team the Celtics have had for the past 5 years. Like they have completely reshaped and remodeled their brand of basketball and the personnel. Like having Porzingis and Drew Holiday completely changes the defense. Porzingis completely changes the way they play offense. And maybe I'm just convincing myself, and I'm actually crazy. I am convinced that Joe Mazzulla has some shit up his sleeve for the playoffs. Like I'm convinced, whether it's an offensive set or defensive schemes or whatever, like I don't think he's showing everything. He's a psycho. That dude is he's going to be
the 15th roster spot. He showed you yesterday. He said, I'm going to contest the shot. He's suiting up.
They're going to have plans. That's why you have a good staff. That's why they made all those hires in the offseason. It's been fantastic. I still love them against anyone in a series. They've been fantastic. I think the biggest development is how Jalen's been playing. I think that's a huge development moving forward because I'm not worried about Tatum getting out of his funk. Tatum's going to be fine. We've seen what he can do in the playoff series. Like he's going to be fine. But Jalen playing like this right now is like, whoa, okay, this is fun. So I just need the big fella to get healthy, everyone to be healthy, and check the ball. I like our chances against anyone.
100%. Well, we know you want to get out of here very soon. So if you don't mind quickly, if you remember the rat list.
I literally was trying to remember this in the beginning because I was like, they're going to throw me this little rat list thing. Okay, so you got to give me a reminder because I was thinking of one.
Sam, do you have a rat list you want to?
I got 3 rat lists. I'm ready. Hit
it. Do you want to be out of here? Do you have a hard out at 7? You want to get out of here by then, or do you have a couple minutes past that?
Me? Give me a break. I can say. You guys want to talk till midnight? We'll do whatever.
I just wanted to be conscious. I'm just going. All right, Sam,
I'm good.
All right, so I'll kick it off. The rat list is I went to get blood work done today, and they draw blood for me, and the woman who is drawing my blood says, "Oh, I thought you were a high school kid." I was like, "Oh, okay." I'm not at the age yet where that's flattered? A compliment. No, no, I'm not there yet. Because I did just shave yesterday. Not that it makes much of a difference, but I did shave, and it was very hurtful way to start my Friday.
So that's one rat list. I can go as well. I'll keep it simple and easy. I'll just rat list someone on the road. So I'm driving home today, and I hit another wall. And a wall on the highway is when everyone decides in unison across all 3 or whatever, how many lanes of traffic to go exactly 65. So I can't pass you if I would like to go the speed of a normal human trying to drive on the fucking road. Because all of you have decided at the same time to drive like morons. Like I know it's the speed limit, but it's not the speed limit. Let's be real. This is not like if you're going to be in the far left lane, you have to be going at least 75. It's just a rule.
You have a responsibility.
And so I was angry. I was very mad. So that's my rat list. Rat list people who don't understand the unwritten rules of the road.
Mine's not as clever. My rat list is McDonald's. Every now and then, I want a damn McFlurry. And 2 out of the last 3 times I've been craving a McFlurry, the ice cream machine is broken. Yep. And I just, at the point, like, I don't think we need to prioritize the burgers. We need to prioritize the ice cream machine because people want McFlurries. Also, the other day, I got an Oreo McFlurry, which is a fantastic curveball because I usually get M&M. And I got an Oreo McFlurry, and they just didn't mix any of the McFlurry in. So it was just Oreo crumbs at the top. I was literally, like, digging for 3 hours to try to mix this in. So I've banned that McDonald's, and it's right from across the street from me. So I can't go there anymore. It's just terrible. So we need to figure that out. So that's my rat list.
I love it.
I will, I'm a rat list my mom. So yesterday I am trying to enjoy some college hoops as one does. I had the super cool quad box on the YouTube TV up in my room as I'm, no, I was doing something. I think I was writing, actually. And I had that up while I was trying to do my other stuff. And then it's just changing to MSNBC. She is connected to my PlayStation somehow, changing the channel. And I'm like, hey, can you please not do that? And she's like, I have no idea what you're doing. So Ratlist is half her, half technology, because for whatever reason, it feels the need to connect to me and ruin what I'm doing. I'm just trying to have some nice entertainment / study material on the television. I gotta watch news. I don't want to watch the news.
Brutal. That's brutal. Okay, I've rat listed. Wow, my lisp is the rat list. I've rat listed this time and time again, but I'm going to do it again. Now, Tyler, I know you're a family man. Congratulations. How's the family?
No, yes, congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. Sam's in a relationship. I have been relegated to the dating apps.
It's okay.
Now,
it's okay.
Well, it is okay until I am out here.
Mm.
So I'm on Hinge, right? And I'm trying to, like, you know, respond to the prompts. I'm trying to be clever. I'm trying to be nice. And I'm getting, how are you today? Like, how was your day? Good. Okay, good. Did you do anything fun? I saw you like this. Yeah. I'm like, please give me something. Just give me, please. I'm trying so hard to make an effort to, like, I'm reading the prompts. I'm like responding to this, and just one word. What, like, what the fuck? What do you want from me? What more do you want? And there was a time, I forget when this was a while ago, but I got one that was like, you know, this isn't really a good fit. I'm like, you said like 4 words to me. Like, what are you talking? What are we doing? I feel like I'm getting gaslit every time I try to be messaging people on these apps. It's just, it is an unbearable, like, it's just.
You got to see it as it's better that way than you go on like 3 dates and then they say it.
Yeah, you know what?
It's true.
I appreciate that perspective.
Your wallet saves it. It's much better. Like, well, okay, next on the list.
It's true.
It is the worst place to be.
It's the worst.
It is.
Yeah. I was there for way too long, so I get it. I understand. Tough. Just keep grinding, you know?
Gotta get there.
Plenty of fish in the sea. Just gotta, you know, cast a bigger net. You're fine.
Trying my best. You got anything else? What you got, Tyler?
No, the only thing I thought was funny, and it's probably not funny, Doc Rivers is on my rat list.
Okay. I like this.
Not only for leaving to go join the biggest threat to the Celtics, but like I was really pumped for a full year of Doc Rivers as a color commentary guy. I was so pumped. Like, I just really thrilled. Like I was pumping it. I was like, yes, people don't remember how great he was doing those games. And then he leaves middle of the year to go to the Bucks. Like, what the? Come on.
As like a sleeper cell too. Like he was like, okay, like, yeah, I'll advise Adrian Griffin. Hey guys, I'll advise you. I actually think Adrian Griffin sucks and you should hire me. And they were all like, okay.
And then he was like, I told him not to do it. I actually said, don't hire me. I said, don't.
The funniest is when they were rumored to like get Doc. I was like, that makes sense because you are in desperation. You need an adult. You need someone players are going to immediately respect in the middle of a season.
Yes.
I was like, it makes all the sense in the world. And then when the report came out that he's an advisor, I was like, wait a second. Did this guy just cut his Achilles to sneak on in? Like, ugh. But I was just pissed now because ESPN's halftime crew could be on my rat list too. I mute it every time. Can't stand it. Let Bob Myers talk, please.
Bob Myers, who had some incorrect things to say about the Celtics.
What did he say recently?
I think they were like pissed because he was like trying to. What did he say, Jack?
They were playing the Warriors, and he said this game means so much more to the Celtics than it could possibly mean for the Warriors. And everyone's like, they're winning by like 30, and the Warriors are fighting for a playoff spot, brother. What are you talking about? I think that's what you're referencing.
Yeah, I actually was listening to that, and then I was like, I remember I used to mute these guys. So
I don't have any more ratless. Sam, do you have one more?
I gotta do the final one. This is the recurring rat list. This is the GOAT rat list. The bridge is getting torn down. If you were on pregame yesterday, you would have heard the tease. And Tyler, if you don't know, so I'm from Rhode Island.
Okay.
And here we have 95 that goes up to Boston all the way down to Florida, and we have 195 that goes out towards Cape Cod.
Okay.
So 195 also connects. In Rhode Island, we have a big body of water in the middle of the state. We have the West Bay, which is where I'm from, and the East Bay, which is like Newport. Like really, it's like a nice area.
It's a really big bridge, right? It's like nice.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've been across it. Yes.
So we have the Washington Bridge, which is in Providence, and that needs to be demolished out of nowhere. So they had to shut down the bridge back in December. It's been my favorite recurring news story for months. And yesterday was the big day. They held a press conference. They teased it. They said, we're going to have a decision on the bridge. And I could have told you since December that they were going to tear this bridge down. They waited 90 days. The governor says it took us 90 days to figure out what they should have figured out 5 years ago. The bridge needed to come down. So this state is going to be absolutely fucked for transportation for the next 2 years. The traffic is going to be awful. And this is the ultimate rat list, but it's still a little bit funny because they colossally messed up so bad that they had to like buzzer beater. Oh my God, we have to demolish this thing.
Yeah, that sounds like a disaster.
It's a disaster. Jack knows all about the bridge. He's never driven on it.
I've just heard about it.
I don't even drive on the bridge, but it makes residual traffic for me. So I'm being inconvenienced.
Stay away from bridges.
Don't have to. Even the NBA players. All right.
Oh, man. All right. Well, thank you, Tyler. We appreciate the time. Thank you very much for joining us and How About Them Celtics. Could you mind telling all the people listening where to find you, all the work, and all the no ceiling stuff?
Yeah, I'm at Tyler_Rucker on Twitter. I won't call it X. It's still Twitter in my mind. And NoCeilingsNBA.com. It's absolutely free, so go check it out. And thank you guys, as always, for having me on. Go Celtics. Let's get the 18th. And yeah, I appreciate it, as always.
Yes, sir. No ceilings will be linked in the description. Check that out there. Thank you, Tyler. Whenever you want to talk Celtics, just hit us up, and we'll be glad to annoy you, whatever you want to call it, for an hour with plenty of draft stuff and Celtic stuff to go along with it. Thank you all for tuning in. Make sure to like. It's not the outro. We're gonna go. We did the rest of the pod. This is going in the middle. I don't know why I'm doing an outro, so we'll send it to the rest of that now. All right. Thank you to Tyler Rucker again for joining us on the pod. We appreciate him very much for informing us about all the draft prospects that we knew nothing about previously. Now we know. Well, I don't know. We don't know currently, but we'll know in a little bit. Anyways, first piece of Celtics news. They have officially clinched a playoff spot. Celtics will be in the postseason, Sam, 10 years in a row.
I mean, this is why we play. I fell to my knees on Thursday night when I realized that they had clinched. Before the season, I was really hoping they might have a chance to compete for a championship, and just the fact that they're going to be there in late April means the world to me, truly. You're going to get to see really great teams compete against them. Maybe you'll see a team like the Chicago Bulls in round one. You never really want to run into a team like them. But at this point, you're just happy to be there. So bless up. They made the playoffs. Wasn't sure they would get there. Good job, Celtics.
They made
Hang
it.
the banner.
They officially made it. I got worried there for a sec.
It was 2 games last week. I didn't know.
I will say it is crazy. They have a 10-game lead on the Eastern Conference now.
It's fire.
Which is pretty insane that they have built that big of a lead on a fairly strong, well, relatively, I guess, to the West. It's not as strong, but like lots of talented players in the Eastern Conference. Everyone thought the Bucks would be a bit better than they are. The Cavs had that slow streak to start the season that hurt their standing. So credit to the Celtics for just being, I mean, pretty much a beacon of consistency all season. They've had their bumps in the road, but for the most part, like they've lost back-to-back games twice all year. Like that's pretty good. Like they've been pretty good. So credit to them.
They have been, and they've done it with guys kind of missing time here and there too. Specifically, Porzingis. This is now 20 games he's missed after Thursday's absence against Phoenix, and despite that, they have done a tremendous job of sticking around. Derek White actually missed games this year. Didn't happen last year. Had to have personal days there, but they have kept it together. Regardless, they've done a great job of competing no matter who's on the floor for them. And that speaks volumes to this team's depth. It gives you a great reason as a fan why you should be feeling good as the playoffs roll around. As much as we bitch and moan, specifically me bitch and moan on this show, they have done a tremendous job of being mostly the best team in the NBA for the entire year. And they have done it no matter what. So when the playoffs inevitably kick off, they seem like they're going to be ready.
Yeah. Speaking of the playoffs, shout out to Jared Weiss, who wrote an article recently about the bench big rotation, Luke Kornet versus Xavier Tillman, who will be playing more in the playoffs, what they bring to the table, who has the advantage in what area. When they traded for Tillman, I think at least my general perspective was Tillman's probably better overall, but Kornet knows the system. We've seen a lot of good games from Kornet lately. We've seen a lot of good stuff from Tillman lately. So the question is, who gets minutes in the playoffs? Jared Weiss, check out his article on The Athletic titled Porzingis set to miss the 20th game. His 20th game, which Celtics backup big could be in the playoffs. Basically breaking down who has the advantage on the perimeter, who has the advantage in the paint and the rim. Both of them, spoiler alert, gives to Tillman, although the paint and the rim is just barely Tillman. We saw some good stuff from Tillman last night against the Suns, specifically in the screen and roll game that we see from Kornet. I clipped it and put it on in my article this morning because, well, my article was about Tatum and Brown, but it applied to another thing I'm working on about the Celtics learning from the way Kornet screens. And this is the thing that stood out to me most. Let me find it here. Jaylen Brown. So Jaylen gets by. It's the and one he got on Nurkic, but it all happened because of Tillman's ability to delay Nurkic. So looking at it here, hopefully this just mutes itself. But
yep, you're
you
good.
See. Nope, this is the wrong play. Hold. Sorry, audio listeners.
Worried about the mute button. Can't even pick the right play.
So this one, Tillman gets the ball on the wing with Nurkic on him from the kick out from Derek White, runs a dribble handoff with Brown, screens a little bit just in time for Brown to get in front of Royce O'Neal, and then he seals off Nurkic in the paint. Like, he just cuts off Nurkic enough to where he can't contest the shot effectively, and then Nurkic is late. Brown gets an N1. That's the type of stuff Luke Kornet was doing really well on the West Coast road trip, just like these little things of getting their star space. So if Tillman can learn to do that, along with the fact that he's hitting threes and also capable of switching onto guards, like, that probably gives him the edge, and that's sort of the breakdown that Jared was going with in his article. So I agree with it from that sense. I do think there'll be a place for both of them, and it'll be matchup-based, but Tillman's shown a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, Tillman has been a great addition. Usually these free guys that you get at the trade deadline don't pan out to be much. It's really hard to find great championship caliber teams that have built their roster at the deadline and rounded out the edges and been like, yeah, that guy made a real difference. But Tillman does seem like the kind of player that you could point to in a couple months, been like, imagine they didn't get him. Where would they have been without Tillman? And his unique skill set compared to Kornet's makes him a great prospect for playoff minutes. Like you mentioned, it could be matchup based. I don't think this should at all be seen as a knock on Kornet, regardless if you're talking about our segment here or Jared's article for The Athletic. Kornet has been fantastic. Kornet has been a thumbnail feature in the last week because he's been so good. He had a great game in Phoenix against the Suns, and then less than a week later, he's not even playing against the Suns at the Garden. So he has such a diverse, weird, niche role where, okay, they don't need anybody to seal off and switch out on the perimeter. He can go in. He can be the guy. But if they're running heavy pick and roll actions, kind of like Phoenix was doing to get Durant switches yesterday, you're not going to see Kornet out there. You're going to see Tillman. He's much more switchable. He's much more mobile. They're letting him shoot threes, which they don't let Kornet do for whatever reason. And he has made them. He made a couple. He made one yesterday. He made one in the game before, really two, but his foot was on the line. And his stroke looks really good. We joked about it in the playback, but he has a very Curry-like stroke where his motion is fluid. the ball comes off clean and his rotation is good on the shot. It doesn't look awkward at all. He looks like somebody that belongs to be shooting threes. And that, again, is something that gives him a unique skill set compared to Kornet, whose offensive repertoire is, hey, I'm going to catch and dunk. Oh, I'll do a layup. Nice. That's it. That's all I need from him. And it's great because Kornet can go out there and have a monster game, and you don't even have to notice him. They don't ask him to do much. He's out there to hold down the fort. Tillman almost seems more like a gamble of a play. Not even, I think gamble's unfair to him, but like a higher risk, higher reward type player. Because his just what he can do is more of a wide net than Kornet. Nice rhyme. Don't worry about it.
I see what you're saying. I don't think there's necessarily a risk with Tillman as though much. I think the risk, like, I think Nemi is like the risk, like
Sure.
inherent, like that is what you're talking about. Like Tillman's pretty sound. I just think he's a bit more versatile. I don't know. It's weird. I agree with Jared's consensus that it will probably end up being a lot of Tillman in the playoffs. And I think that's partially why the Celtics brought him on board. Like, Brad mentioned when they traded for him, they're like, yeah, we wanted a guy who could play next to Al and Porzingis, but also as it's his own big. And Tillman's been able to do that. And I think the double big lineups work better when you have multiple bigs out there that can shoot. And when you have Tillman in there, you have two bigs that can shoot the ball, which is really, really, really important. So I think that's an important thing to note as well. It'll be interesting, though, because Joe's a big trust guy. We didn't even see Hauser in the playoffs last year. And so for him to just let Tillman rock in the playoffs without having him have been on the team for so long would be a big testament to them trusting him. So I'm curious to see how that shakes out. But anyways.
Yeah. And your mention of Hauser is a great point. Like last year, he appeared in 80 games. He started 8 times in the regular season, averaged 16 minutes each time. And he was shooting the ball almost as well as he is this year. He was shooting 41.8% last year. This year, as of today, he's at 42%. So it's just about the exact same. I think the defense has gotten better. There has been growth moments for Hauser. But it is interesting that Joe did not even really trot him out there at all. It's something to keep your eyes on for Tillman. Hauser will almost certainly play playoff minutes this year. He's averaging more points. He's averaging more minutes. He looks more comfortable on both ends of the floor. Like, obviously, this is a Hauser segment, but he has grown, and maybe Joe was right not to play him. So I think Joe has good judgment when it comes to this. That's really the point.
Yeah, I agree. Playoffs right around the corner too, so we'll get some insight.
I can't wait
sooner rather than later.
Actually start, and then I'll be like, I hate this.
All right, let's jump to the email, see what y'all had to say. Again, you can email us hbtcpod@gmail.com if you want to get in touch with us. But first, we do have some popcorn to give away. Let me go to the wheel. Few entries.
Spin that wheel.
4 entries today. Again, comment what's popping on the video for a chance to win a $10 Incognito gift card. 4 entries: Ruben, Desiree, Robert, and Dylan. Thanks for tuning in to the YouTube. Desiree, make sure to send us an email at hbtcpod@gmail.com with your name and phone number. We'll get you hooked up with a $10 gift card. Appreciate you for entering, and keep entering if you haven't yet. You'll have
congratulations.
Let's jump on over the email, see what people had to say. A couple from RJ today. RJ,
yes.
What's popping? Celtics secret weapons. Hey, again, another delivery from the content fairies. The season comes to a close. I've noticed certain things that the Celtics haven't done much this year. I don't know if we'll see them dust them off in the final month or so, or if Missoula is keeping them under lock and key so the opponents don't have film on them. I don't think any of these actions are earth-shattering, but they can short-circuit their opposition in no particular order. Guards bringing up the ball. This isn't about the turnovers, but timing. Celtics are more effective when they get into their offense early in the shot clock. Having D. White, Holiday, or Pritchard advance the ball seems to lead to quicker, crisper actions. Using bigs to break pressure. Part of what Cleveland employed to annoy the Celtics was backcourt pressure that Boston mostly passed to other guards who dribbled across the midcourt. While I don't recall it generating live ball turnovers, it did slow down and somewhat disrupt the C's offensive flow. Easy way out is to bring Al, KP, or Luke into the backcourt and act as a taller target to receive the pass and relay it up court, which leads to the next tactic in the general case, passing the ball into the front court. As opposed to dribbling it up, this saves a few seconds and allows the Celtics to possibly find a mismatch in semi-transition. Again, nothing revolutionary about it, but I think it could be used for more greater effect. Box in one zone with Jaden Springer, the Jazz guard performance. Maybe think of this. Guards like Devin Booker, Brunson, De'Aaron Fox might make this plausible. I don't know how easy it would be to scheme around, though. Anything you'd like to see this Celtics experiment with, be well. RJ, and want to be mad scientists at heart. I think all are good ideas. I will say the one thing about the box and zone thing, it would probably be Drew or Derek instead of Jaden Springer, with all due respect to Springer, but I think these are all valid and solid ideas.
Yeah, going down the stretch here, I mean, we talked about them clinching a playoff spot, and they're what is their magic number, Jack? Is it 7 now? As of Thursday or Friday? It's not very high. It's very much attainable, and there's going to be a stretch of games this year that don't necessarily matter at all for the Celtics. So I wouldn't mind seeing Springer minutes. I'm excited about him, probably more than most people. I don't have a reason why for you, but I just think he's a player that if he develops, he can be an impact player at the very least. And if he gets minutes at the end of the season, it could go towards that development. I do like the guards bringing up the ball. To RJ's point, it's one of my favorite things. It's kind of their job, and they should be allowed to do it. I think the offense itself gets into a better flow when that happens, and it allows you to get guys involved in different ways. And the ball actually moves. Not that it's a problem when Tatum brings up the ball and uses a screen to get himself a good look, but if you have the guards doing it, ball movement is something that actually has to happen. And it makes it so there's more room for you to find gaps for an easy shot rather than just a regular shot. But yeah, that's my take on that one.
I agree. I like all the ideas. Appreciate you, RJ. Next one from RJ again. Fun with Phoenix. Morning, guys. Thursday night against the Suns reminded me in some ways of how the second half of Ime Udoka's one season. Specifically, once the Celtics took the lead, they held on to it and kept increasing through defensive pressure. This time, instead of fear of Rob Williams' rejection, the defensive pressure was everyone using active hands to force turnovers and runouts. Felt like in the middle of the game, the Celtics forced like 7 or 8 live ball turnovers, many of which seemed to be caused by Drew Holiday. Am I misremembering? Anyways, be well, RJ. Be well, and let's get ready for the dynamic duo of Washington and Detroit. RJ. Thank you, RJ. And yeah, Drew Holiday was sick in that game against the Suns. There was one clip that's going around Twitter. I know Steve Jones tweeted one, but there was another one that he was just like bullying Bradley Beal for a whole possession. I'll try to find it, but yeah, love to see the defense.
I know which one you're talking about. It's like he like doesn't allow himself to get screened and then just knocks the ball away. Is this it? Let's see.
Yeah, this is it right here. He just denies the screen like 4 times.
Royce comes back. Yep, that was the one.
He's just bullying.
Beal looks helpless.
There was another one too on Beal, which hopefully I can find. I think Steve Jones also tweeted it. Yeah, right here. Look at him.
Menace.
Watch this.
Thief.
Bradley Beal.
Criminal.
Sorry, Royce O'Neal on this one in the corner, just bullying Royce O'Neal. Then he blocks him at the rim.
That block attempt from Holiday was unbelievably like disrespectful. Like he was like, "You got to be kidding me! You really think you're gonna be able to go up on me here? Look at this." Goes for the swat, not even the contest.
He's so sick, man. He's such a good defender. He's so underrated. It feels like still. Like everyone, I was talking to Bobby Kravitsky, and I was like, "Where do you think Drew Holiday ranks in the NBA? Like, is he top 30, top 40?" And it feels like right now, a lot of people would say, "Oh, he's maybe top 50," and like. He was an all-star last year. Like I feel like people will continue to underrate him just because he's not scoring a lot. And again, I was talking to Noah Dalzell as well, and it's like, she's a psycho. She was telling me, she was like, I was listening to Austin Rivers' podcast, and I was like, sure,
why?
Yeah, exactly. But she was like, Austin Rivers said Luka Doncic is far and away the best guard in the league. It's like something like this, not close, but he's really bad on defense, so he needs to work there. And she was just like, so how is he far and away the best guard in the league if he's really bad on defense? You're just talking about offense. Like it's
a fact.
Point. And I feel like that's a big reason why Holiday doesn't get the credit he deserves, because a large majority of the impact he has is on defense.
Yeah, I mean, there's no real stat, at least common stat for the folk like me, to track defense, to be like, look how great this guy is at defense. Blocks and steals are great, but they don't necessarily translate to good positioning, good shot contests, and things like that. Sometimes they're actually represented by bad positioning, and you have to recover by making that play. As far as Holiday goes, he's been remarkable this year because he's sacrificing by far probably the most. He's taking the fewest shots since his rookie year. I know I've said it like every time we talk about him, but it's remarkable because he's been more efficient than he ever has been making threes. He looks comfortable. He looks ready no matter what. And he's not panicking or uncomfortable in situations where he doesn't have the ball. He's like, there's never a, oh, look, it's my turn to shoot moment from him. He is committed to winning. And that is unbelievably valuable in the NBA because you don't always get that. The way that this Celtics team is gelled this year is remarkable because you have a group of guys that is fully committed to winning. The focus is there from everybody. And that isn't something you're guaranteed to get when you put stars together. Just look at the 2019 Celtics. Tatum and Brown were younger. They weren't mature yet. Kyrie had his mind somewhere else. Gordon Hayward's trying to get his feet back under him after getting injured, so he's worried about that. The only one you can really feel like, hey, that guy was in and he did everything kind of right was Horford. And then he ended up leaving for Philly. So it was just a bizarre team. The personalities weren't right, and the star power didn't mesh because nobody wanted to sacrifice. They all wanted to make their name from that season. But this year, they all just want to win, and it rules.
Yeah, credit to them. It's the mentality thing, too, that's super impressive. Like, I mean, Joe has not stopped talking about it, and I think he deserves as much credit as anybody.
Absolutely.
For the way they've had their success. So good for the Celtics. Good all around. Let's go to the NBA section. Let's check out how teams have been doing around the league. See what's cooking up. So NBA standings.
Can you hear me rubbing my hands together?
we can. 10-game lead or 9.5 game lead on the Eastern Conference for the Celtics. Clinch the playoffs. First team in League Two clinch the playoffs. It isn't saying to see it, but they are a full 41 games ahead of the Wizards in the standings.
That's okay.
That's a wild gap.
Probably should be more.
What's the biggest gap? I guess 41 last year. It's 31. Like, it feels like the 41 is an abnormally large gap between the top and the bottom. Like, that is crazy.
I don't think you're going to find. Well, why don't you go to the 16 season when the Warriors had 73 wins?
47 that season. And the Celtics could, crazy part is Celtics could get it to 47. Oh, this is
no, scroll down.
15. Oh yeah, I'm looking at the wrong conference. Duh, you're right. Yeah, 56 on the Lakers. Yep. 56 is crazy.
Hate to see the Lakers be that far behind. I don't know why you had to show that. Nobody wants to see that on their Sunday morning. Nonetheless,
top of the East is winning 8-2 for the Celtics, 7-3 for the Bucks, 7-3 for the Magic too. They just keep piling on wins. Good for them. Cavs and Knicks have started sort of middling, evening it out, 5-5 each in their last 10. Sixers and Heat have fallen into the play-in as the Magic and Pacers are climbing above them, though that is still a very tight 5-team race between the Knicks, Magic, Pacers, Sixers, and Heat. Then the Bulls and the Hawks are having their own little pillow fight for the 9-10 seeds. The Nets are kind of there, but not really, and then everyone else sucks. Everyone else.
Pistons are back. Yeah. The Pistons have won 3 out of 4 games for the first time in 2 years. This is the first time they have won 3 out of 4 since Cade has come into the league, I believe. So they are on a roll. Their record is by far the best of the bottom 4 by 1 game, by far the best. But notice how they don't have that big, fat, disgusting looking E next to their name like the Washington Wizards do. The Pistons are still in it. They could climb back. Only 17 games out of that 10th spot. Good for them.
You're a moron. Western Conference, OKC and Nuggets, Denver are tied for the top seed at 46 and 20 apiece. Celtics are the last team surviving without 20 losses, and they've only
will they hit 20 losses? Some are saying no.
It's a good question. Nuggets 9-1 in their last 10. OKC 7-3 in their last 10. The rest of the top 6 sort of average. 6-4 Timberwolves, 5-5 Clippers, 6-4 for the Pels and the Kings. Phoenix 5-5, Dallas 5-5, Lakers 6-4, Warriors 5-5. Big pillow fight there in the Western Conference. No one wants to pull ahead, man. They're just
I've never heard that before. Pillow fight.
I just said it like 2 minutes ago.
Did you say pillow fight?
Yes. I said the Bulls and the Hawks are having a pillow fight for the 9-10 seed.
I like that. Before today, I don't know if I've heard it then.
Rockets are pushing a little bit, 6-4, won their last 4 games. However, they are 3.5 games out of that 10 seed. I don't think they're going to get there.
They're cooked.
Jazz, Grizzlies, Blazers, Spurs have also been eliminated, and the bottom of the West just sucks. We've gotten to the season where the bottom of each conference is just dead, and they're accepting their death.
Yep. Utah fell off a cliff. They haven't really been playing marketing much. I mean, realistically, they're only 6 games behind the Warriors. So, like, if they really wanted to put, pedal to the floor,
yeah,
they could try, but they will.
They're
not.
cooked.
They will not
they're
get
cooked.
there.
Okay. I think that wraps it up for standings. First piece of NBA news, Rudy Gobert fallout. So we talked about his battle with the refs recently. We have some updates. Charles Barkley had a take on it. He said, I thought he should have been suspended. The one thing we can never do is make people think it's fixed. They talked about the 100K fine. Chuck's had some takes lately. He's spitting them out. Suspension's egregious. Like, come on, man. What are we doing?
So I'll say this. I don't know if they necessarily need to suspend Gobert, but I think Chuck does make a good point. With all of the gambling in sports betting partnerships that are going on in professional sports, not just the NBA right now, it's important, unironically, to keep the integrity of the game in place. You don't want people that are putting their hard-earned money on these contests, on the matchups, on Gobert and the fellas, to think that they're getting ripped off or not getting a fair deal because one of the players who has far more information about how the league is run than anybody on the outside, making a gesture towards Scott Foster that there is some fixing going on in these games. And it's one of the reasons why sports gambling was not legal for a long time. I'm pretty sure there was a lot of worry about, mafia, mob, anybody with power influencing these games and trying to make a little bit of money off the hardwood. So you don't want that. You don't want any kind of thought, any doubt. You want this to be as rock solid as possible. And Gobert doing this, I don't think jarred me. It didn't jar you. But I'm sure that there are some people that have lost a pretty penny on the old prize picks there. And they're like, can you believe this? They're fixing these games. I'm putting my money on the app. I'm sure there are people that think that it's fixed. And it doesn't help that Scott Foster was friends with Donaghy there years and years and years ago when they actually were fixing games. Like, this is a league that has had a history of guys fixing games. Chuck has a good point. Like, this isn't something you should take lightly. Do I think he should be fined? Or yes. Do I think he should be suspended? Maybe not. But it is something that you don't want to see a whole lot of.
I get it. I get your point. But, like, anybody who actually thinks the NBA fixed probably also thinks the earth is flat. I'm sorry.
Kyrie's probably running around the league just being like, can you believe I haven't won a ring since I left LeBron?
I'm just saying,
these games.
If there is a Venn diagram of flat earthers and people who actually think professional sports are rigged, you see a pretty big overlap. Like, come on. Like, let's not be stupid. Also, Chuck's on a burner. Chuck also said he talked about the Joe Mazzulla trying to block Royce O'Neal. I would have knocked the hell out of him. I'm not going to lie. I would have hit him. I'll tell you why I don't like it. What if he stepped on an ankle and hurt him badly? He can't do that. Come on, man. Shut the fuck up, Chuck. Shut up. Maybe Royce O'Neal shouldn't be shooting on the Celtics basket.
Yeah, this was hockey. They would fight him because he shot after the whistle.
Wemby talked about Gobert too.
Did he?
Somebody asked him about defensive player of the year, etc. Which Wemby doesn't really have a real chance because the Spurs have sucked. But he said, I know Rudy is a very good chance of winning it this year, and it would be deserved. Let him win it now, because after that, it's no longer his turn. He said, I'm coming for that ass.
That is the Pat Bev telling the Warriors, you had the last 5 years. The next 5 years are mine.
That was an insane quote, considering he's older than Steph Curry, the same age. Like let's not. Pat Bev was like 30 when he said that. Shut up.
It's true.
Come on, man. Next thing, Sam put it on here. Lack of whistles. What is this?
What do you mean, what is this? You haven't been watching games? So since the All-Star break has come back, there's been a significant decline in the old fingerprints of the zebras on these games. Tom Haberstra put out a thing, scoring in the down, a big reason referees have subtly swallowed their whistle on just about everything. Shooting fouls, non-shooting fouls, text, defensive 3 seconds are all down significantly since the All-Star break. Wendy has been talking. He's talked on the Hoop Collective. He's talked on all the ESPN shows. And his message is that Adam Silver sent a video out to all the officials and was like, listen, stop this. Stop calling the ticky-tack stuff. Stop playing into the foul baiting. This isn't what we want. And since the All-Star break, we have seen a lot of letting them play as we gear up for the playoffs here, a month away. The fellas are playing out there. They're being physical, and they're not being punished for it. It's kind of cool to watch. It's fun. I like it personally. I thought we saw in the Phoenix Celtics game, in particular, some physical play that was let go on both ends. I thought Jalen got hit a few times, and he, as a player, has been playing much more physical since the break. But he didn't get the free throw line. Not that I'm really complaining. Do we really need him to do the D-Lo and get publicly humiliated? I don't think so. But also, like, even the clip we showed earlier of Holiday and Beal, Holiday was being really aggressive on Beal. He was pressuring him in the corner. They very much could have called a ticky-tack foul there, and they didn't. And it's been consistent like that around the NBA. And personally, I think it makes for a better product.
Yeah, I'm in on the no fouls. If anything, if nothing else, because the games go by faster, which is nice.
Yeah, well,
here we go.
Say that now. Mid-August, you'll be begging for a game.
This is true.
I will be too, and I'm over some of it too. Make no mistake.
Playoffs.
I'm ready.
Give me the
playoffs.
I will say they better keep this fucking level of whistles up for the playoffs, because if they go back to some bullshit by the postseason, it's going to be enraging. It's not going to be a fun time.
What we're going to need is to see our fellas here in green toughen up mentally, which I think they've done a good job of. I think we see far less complaining from all of the guys on the Celtics this year. I don't think we've seen as much palms up from Tatum, to his credit. He was a very big culprit of complaining to the officials in years past. I feel like the team as a whole has gotten past that, and that's going to be important as we move into the playoffs, as we see the officials start to swallow the whistle a bit, because you don't want your team to get distracted after a whole season of being this well-oiled offense, well-oiled defense, because guys are getting back, guys are staying locked in, to all of a sudden getting distracted because the calls aren't going your way. You're going to have to play through it. There are going to be games where you don't get the whistles, regardless if they are collectively swallowing the whistle or not. You're going to have to deal with that, and it's a maturity thing. And we've seen last year's team didn't necessarily have the maturity at all times. They did get rattled by the no calls. And I'm glad that what we've seen so far this year indicates that will not be the case.
Yeah, good for the Celtics. They've made progress in that regard, and I think it benefits them, if anything, that they're calling games this way. And I'm here for it. I'm in. Okay, weird buzz around the Spurs. Again, you put this on the sheet, so I am unfamiliar with what this is.
So the Spurs are the Spurs. The Spurs are eliminated from playoff contention. It is mid-March, rather. And they have nothing left to play for. They actually have everything to lose for. They're probably trying to get a top draft pick. Now, they do have Wemby. They won the lottery last year. We all know about Wemby. We talked about him earlier in the show. He is a 19-year-old superstar from France that is a freak athlete. He's 7'5", and he can do all the things. So there's this weird aura coming off of the Spurs right now where there's some controversy. How should they handle Wemby? Zach Lowe has his podcast, The Lowe Post, and he talked about how the Spurs should try and capitalize on his window early. This is different than the latter point that I will bring up, okay? So his angle is, listen, you have this time frame. Wemby is on his rookie contract. He has showed you this season that he can play, he can block shots, and he has looked far more comfortable as the season has gone on. You should see what you can do to put talent around him while he's not making a ton of money. Okay? That is a very reasonable take. I don't think it's outrageous, but it has led, or at least the situation has led to more brain dead takes on this. So I know other ESPN shows, I do not know who has said this directly, but I've seen it going around on Twitter, have suggested that Wemby should be pressuring the Spurs and been like, listen, I'm done losing. Wemby is 19. The man hasn't even finished his rookie season. That would be the fastest I would have ever turned on an NBA player if he was all of a sudden being like, listen, you have to do what I say right now. That would be awful.
Yeah, I remember writing about this. I don't think Wemby feels this way at all. There was a lot of discord. I remember there were headlines for will Wemby force his way to San Antonio?
Yes.
Are we stupid? What are we fucking doing? All he's done since he's been there is be like, fuck yeah, I'm with the Spurs. This is sick. I used to watch Tim Duncan. This is great. Greg Popovich, are you kidding? This is great. Is he going to force? No, it's been one fucking season. What are we doing? I do agree with Zach Lowe's point, though. You probably could capitalize on this because
yes,
he is already top 15 player league, 20 player league. He is already nasty. And I say this to you all the time. This is probably the worst he's ever going to be, which is crazy.
That is an unbelievable thought.
A terrifying thing to think about. We're going to be watching Thunder Spurs Western Conference Finals for the next decade. Getting good players around him now and allowing them to not only build a good roster while he's on a cheap contract, but build chemistry, which we've seen is super important for the Celtics too. Like working together, having the same coach in the sense of the Celtics, but like having a similar team. Like we heard the Trae Young rumors, we've heard other things, we've heard maybe DeJounte Murray back. Like they're already looking at ways to improve this team. They're going to have money this summer. Relatively speaking, they could get up to a max contract spot, although that's pretty useless in today's NBA, especially with this current class coming up because it's nothing. But like trading for Trae Young and then going out and signing like high quality role players, like I would put money on them being a playoff team next year if the Spurs play this right.
They should be. They should be able to capitalize on it. Lowe's point is a good one. All of the stuff that Wemby should be like upset or doesn't want to be there or wants to force his way out rather is a bunch of shit. I don't like it. I think Trae Young would make for an interesting fit there. We've talked about this where he can't play defense, but he would have the best help defense of all time, just kind of hanging out behind him. So that would be sick. That would be good for Trae Young. It would be good for the Spurs. It would make for exciting basketball there. It would make for a better Western Conference, which I am all for. I have no problem with that conference getting better one bit. Yeah, and they have their own pick this year, and I'm pretty sure they also have Utah's pick if it's in the top. Oh, no. They have another pick. I'm pretty sure. Toronto's pick. Yes, from the Pirtle trade.
Which is so stupid. Yeah, they get the Raptors pick if it's not top 6, and it's currently projected. Wait a second. NBA mock draft. The Raptors are currently projected to have. Okay, I need an NBA mock draft this year. Mock draft 2024. The Raptors are currently projected to land the. Sorry, this is taking longer than I expected.
It's in the top
7.
10.
They're expected to be 7, and it's top 6 protected.
Yeah.
Which means if the Raptors don't, if they finish with the 7th best odds and they don't jump into the top 4, they lose their pick. That's so bad.
Do you remember when like the Celtics were a landing spot for Pirtle?
No, last year,
like before the deadline, there was some buzz around. Oh, like what if they make a move for him? And good thing they didn't, because not that he sucks or anything, but
yeah, Pirtle's fine. It's just the Raptors have no need. Like, what was the point? They're weird. They're very
Raptors are in a tough spot. I'll tell you that.
They're morons. Last NBA thing we got is the Sixers have signed Kai Jones, who is back in the league after. What do we want to call it? A manic episode. Got him booted off the Hornets. Kai Jones is not very good.
If you're not getting minutes on the Hornets, I don't know what to tell you.
I remember. Let me see if I can find these. I wrote Hornets Summer League notebooks back when I wrote for At the Hive for SB Nation. Let me see if I can find my my Kai Jones takes. Because I was not impressed. Well, I was at first. He's an athletic monster. I remember writing about that. He's very good. An athlete. He's a very good athlete. However, the rest of it. Oh, yeah. I remember. I phrased it this way. My takeaway was Kai Jones is confident. And then let me read. I wrote, that's a very kind way of putting things. It's abundantly clear that Jones is comfortable taking 3 after 3, no matter how many he misses. That sort of unwavering belief is great. It means he'll assumedly, that's not a word. It means he'll never lose faith in himself. But going 0 for 10 from 3-point range is still rough. Most of the shots he took.
Guy I know.
Most of the, don't call him Tatum. That's not. Don't even begin to make the joke. Most of the shots that he took were good looks, but some of them weren't even going in. Or weren't even close to going in. Jones's jump shot looks broken. It's clunky, too high, and apparently also inconsistent. It's not Michael Kidd-Gilchrist level bad. Nothing ever will be, but he needs to work on it. That's especially true when considering he'll be at the 4 more often than not with Mark Williams, Mason Plumlee, Nick Richards, et cetera. He was bad. He was not a very good watch in Summer League. He's chucking those motherfuckers. I want to see if I can find it now. But he's signing with the Sixers, Sam. So good for Philly.
Sixers pulling out all the stops, trying to get back in the playoff race. Can't blame them.
Man, he's not good. He posted Wemby that one time though, so that was cool, right? You got him.
I remember when the Trace Jackson Davis one happened. I forget
Yeah.
where I was listening to people talk about it, but they were like, "Has anyone done this?" I'm like, "Yeah, Josh showed up for like 2 games and dunked on him." He played like in Ja's 3 appearances this year. One
I
of
thought
them
Ja
he
missed.
managed.
I thought he missed.
No. I think he got him.
Oh, still. Yeah, Kai Jones. Sure, good for
Sixers
Philly.
are back.
Yeah, they'll try their best there. All right, shall we move on to the March Madness bracket?
Pull it up, as if I'm not hungry enough.
Yeah, I ordered my Chick-fil-A while we were recording, so I'm going to eat it before talking C's when it gets here. But we're going to be doing breakfast food today. If you guys weren't sick of food yet, you'll be sick of food brackets by the time we're done with you. So let me share the screen. We'll go back to here so we can put our super cool overlay on the screen. Boom, boom. Wait for it. Video watchers, here we go. Okay, food time. So do you want me to hit shuffle a few times, or do you want to rock with what they have?
Just rock.
Okay.
We shuffled last time. It bit us in the ass. We got
True.
monster cakes, and then you had Mickey Mouse cakes.
I do already see one on the right side that's gonna bite us in the ass. Anyways, waffles versus croissants. Sam, thoughts?
Waffles are a top tier breakfast item. I am a big fan of waffles. Croissants are good, but I'm not eating croissants by themselves.
Croissants are good. I am not a waffle guy, but waffles are better than croissants.
I think waffle.
I think waffles are the worst of the big 3. Not close.
I can see that, but like if I'm eating breakfast at home, I love an Eggo waffle.
See, this is the
or six.
Eggo waffles are great, but like waffles you get at a restaurant that are just pancakes but shaped bad. Why? Just get a pancake
because they hold the syrup.
But the pancake soaks it in, and it's part of
it. Does on top. It has benefits.
Eggo waffles are good though, so and these look somewhat like Eggo waffles anyway. So I'm down with waffles over croissants. Next one, Greek yogurt versus what the fuck is that?
That's biscuits with gravy, I believe.
Biscuits and gravy. But what is all the black and shit like the sprinkled on top?
Pepper?
Maybe. Greek yogurt's fine.
I'm a fan of Greek yogurt myself.
Biscuits and gravy probably look good. I don't
Out
really
on
care.
Gravy.
Okay, fine. I'm fine with yogurt. Although I need some fruit in it though. Like put something in it. Come on. Okay.
Oh.
Chocolate chip muffin versus Pop-Tarts? Are those Pop-Tarts?
Those are definitely Pop-Tarts, but they're homemade Pop-Tarts.
Yeah, they're like off-brand Pop-Tarts.
Have you ever had homemade Pop-Tarts?
No.
Not bad. I guess it really depends who makes them, but not bad.
See, I will say, I love me a muffin. This muffin does not look good. The muffin.
This looks like a muffin I could one
low tier muffin. Yeah, it's a low tier muffin. I like muffins though. I fuck with muffins, especially when you get the good like sugar on top, like the Dunkin' muffins. Those muffins hit.
Yes, like the crystallized sugar.
Mm-hmm.
Fire.
Are we taking this Pop-Tarts as all Pop-Tarts or the Pop-Tarts on the screen?
Just do those ones. Those ones look good.
Those ones look all right, but like
they also look better than regular Pop-Tarts. Like Pop-Tart brand Pop-Tarts are fine, but they're kind of cheap.
Oh, also for what it's worth, I do see Eggo waffles and normal waffles on here now that I'm inspecting, so we can take that into account. I'm fine with the Pop-Tarts. That's fine. I like a muffin. Muffins are very simple though. They're very bland. That one doesn't look great either. So I'm in. I'm fine with that. Pop-Tarts. A sausage, egg, and cheese on an English muffin versus breakfast crepes with fruit in them. Crepes. Thoughts?
So, I love a breakfast sandwich.
Me too.
I truly do. I have one every day. I also am a fan of crepes, but I don't know. I'm torn here. These look like McMuffins in particular.
Now, I will clarify. Inspection. It doesn't look like they have bacon, egg, and cheese. So we should use this as breakfast sandwich in general.
Okay.
In that case, I think breakfast sandwich has to win.
I agree. Just for the sheer convenience of it. Eat and dry.
Agree. We've got cereal versus
home fries.
Shit. It depends on the home fry.
This is a clash.
I don't love these style of home fries. I love the fried crispy ones. I don't love the plain potato ones as much.
I agree with you. I am a fan of the crispy ones myself.
For that reason, I might have to go with cereal for the pure variation and variety you can get.
But I think home fries are a breakfast. Is a staple. It is how I judge where I go out to eat.
Cereal is breakfast though, and like I know we're talking about a lot out to eat, but like if you don't go out to eat, you're eating cereal.
Well, no,
realistically,
it's not hard to make an egg.
I know, but like if we're talking like convenience, cereal is cereal, and like I don't know, man. I'm a big cereal guy. I won't fight you on it, but
I think home fries have to go through. You just can't. And I refuse to say that these home fries in the picture are the only home fries. I think we should take all. They represent all home fries.
I see some other stuff on the screen coming up, but I'll it's fine. We can. That's fine. I think cereal got chipped, but we got hash browns versus boiled eggs.
It's a hash brown.
I think. Yeah,
hash browns are through.
Hash browns go through. Bagels versus donuts in the first round is crazy. That's insane. Bagels, donuts, round one is nuts.
Should I make my case?
We're both I think we're gonna disagree. But
so I am not eating a bagel alone. A bagel is a prime item for a breakfast sandwich bread. But a bagel is not a breakfast item.
You're not going to eat a bagel and cream cheese? Yes, it is.
No.
Bagel and cream cheese. You're an idiot. It absolutely
I'm not
is.
having that.
You're
a
insane.
Donuts
it's
are
the same thing.
The best pastry item that there is. I love donuts. No. Donuts are a peak treat dessert item.
This is crazy. I won't fight you because I like donuts, but you saying a bagel's not a breakfast food is like obscene.
I don't think I would be satisfied by just a bagel is my point. I'm not saying it's not. I misspoke. It is a breakfast food, and it should. But
you're satisfied by a donut. No,
a donut serves a different purpose than a bagel. A donut is like a dessert.
But we're judging breakfast foods.
But like this is like a breakfast dessert.
I'm not going to fight you on
just
it
like a muffin.
Donuts, but I think your argument has a lot of holes in it. No pun intended, but I won't fight you on it. Bacon versus what looks like a breakfast wrap with egg, sausage, avocado, a bunch of stuff in it.
They just got some good stuff on here, plain and simple.
They do. The wrap looks good, but bacon is bacon. That is my argument.
Bacon overrated or properly rated?
It's tough because when cooked the way I like it, it is the best thing on the planet. Other than that, it's garbage.
I think that's a good point. I don't like rubbery bacon.
I don't like rubbery bacon. I don't like when it's burnt to a crisp and it's just like crunching in my mouth. It needs to be the perfect consistency, the good bacon all around. But when it's like that, yeah, it's all time stuff. And that bacon on the screen looks very good. So that's my argument.
I agree. Put it through. But I think that wrap looks fire.
The wrap really does look good too. The avocado.
The browned wrap.
Eggo waffles versus yogurt. Eggo waffles go through. Eggo waffles are different.
Look at those things. I could rip that whole stack right now.
Pop-Tarts versus breakfast sandwiches. I think breakfast sandwiches clears.
Breakfast sandwich is a staple.
Hash browns versus home fries. These hash browns look better than those home fries is what I'll say. But I won't complain either way.
I'm afraid that we're not going to have more home fries.
I see them right here on the screen.
Are we sure that's home fries? I see.
No, so we can add home fries through if you'd like. That's fine. I won't fight you on it.
Because I don't like the stringy hash brown potatoes.
That's fine. Bacon versus donuts. I'll let you win again, but I think bagels
you're starting to get upset.
And I think I just disagree. But I know what you're going to pick. And
well, I'd have my share.
Yeah, but I don't have a strong enough opinion. Like I like donuts. It's not like I vehemently dislike donuts. So I'm not gonna. You know what I'm saying?
I just think bacon is so hit or miss.
Yeah, that's also fair. Waffles versus breakfast sandwiches.
A breakfast sandwich trumps that, just because. I mean, I'm eating breakfast sandwiches every single day.
Donuts versus home fries.
Do you have a lean, Jack?
I kind of don't. Like I like both of these things. If this is all encompassing home fries, I'd probably go with the home fries because of the variety. But at the same time, like a good donut is good. I will say though, there are bad donuts out there.
There are absolutely bad donuts. Mm-hmm. I like the home fries. I'm in.
Okay. I mean, it's just gonna lose to the breakfast sandwich, but
yeah, I think the breakfast sandwich is through.
Next, French toast versus
oatmeal.
French toast is the goat. Oh, fucking love
I don't think I've ever had oatmeal.
Oatmeal's fine, but I love French toast. French toast is so good. An omelet versus cinnamon rolls.
Oh, man.
Listen,
I want to hear your thoughts before I go.
I love an omelet. The omelet on the screen right now is a sad excuse for an omelet.
It is a sad excuse for an omelet. I have found myself ordering omelets more and more as I go out for breakfast. I'm a fan of omelets.
I like omelets. I love me a cinnamon roll, but I'm down to put the omelet through.
I think the omelet is more of an iconic item.
Next up, we got... Okay, never mind. I was wrong. This isn't hash browns. This is corned beef hash versus eggs Benedict.
Eggs Benedict?
Have you had either of these things?
I have not had either of these things. This is up to you.
Both are very good. Corned beef hash is very good. So is eggs Benedict. I've had them both together, actually, like a corned beef hash, eggs Benedict.
Imagine if we didn't put the home fries through.
Yeah, true. I mean, I wouldn't have cared, but I know you love them a lot.
I would have been. I just think they're so important to like your breakfast platter. It is literally how I judge a lot of breakfast places when I go out.
I'll go with the corned beef hash. I'm a big fan. It's good. Sausage versus quiche. Hot take. I think quiche is pretty bad. I don't think the puff pastry works.
I've never had quiche.
It's just like imagine a pie crust with egg in it. Yeah.
I think sausage is my favorite of the breakfast meat.
It's my least favorite. I'm not a sausage guy.
I especially love chicken sausage.
Chicken sausage is good. I don't like normal sausage, but I'll put it through because I don't like quiche. Quiche is me. Pancakes versus breakfast tacos.
Pancakes clears.
Chocolate pancakes, dude. Chocolate chip pancakes. Chocolate chip pancakes.
Scrambled eggs versus chicken and waffles.
I'm a big scrambled eggs guy, but chicken and waffles does look good. Those waffles are the waffles I dislike, though. I think those waffles are very overrated.
I don't care for those waffles either. I think you have a good point. This is hard.
I'm down with either.
I love chicken. Chicken is my favorite food. I don't find myself eating chicken and waffles, though.
Me neither.
And
so I'm down for scrambled eggs.
I am
scrambled
consistently
eggs
ordering scrambled eggs.
Scrambled eggs is good. Next, we got an English muffin versus what's this called again? Why am I blanking?
Oh, that is a Danish.
No.
It's a toaster strudel or something.
Toaster strudel. Yeah, toaster strudel. That's it. I fuck with the toaster strudel, but English muffin also very good. English muffin grilled is the way to go, though. Those are fire.
Grilled?
Yeah, they put it on the griddle, so it's like flat, and the butter like soaks into the thing, and it's like crispy. Very good. That's how I order it when I go to breakfast. Yeah, English muffins are fire. Last one. Over easy eggs versus toast. What a dog shit.
The saddest excuse for fucking toast. That is the saddest toast I've ever seen. It looks like it's probably gluten-free.
I'm in on toast in general, though, so I'll be down to put the toast.
I have come around on toast, actually, because
toast is good.
Typically, when I get like a breakfast platter, I do not care for the toast. I scoff at the toast. The toast is not part of what I'm going to eat.
No.
But I have started to put jam on the toast.
Yeah.
And that levels the toast up. But a fried egg is a fried egg.
Fried egg is good. I don't love
it's
over easy.
It's great for a sandwich.
I'm not a big over easy guy. Actually, yeah, you're right. Putting it on something over easy is good. Oh, I lost the matchup mode. Yeah, I that's a good argument. French toast versus omelet. French toast for me.
I know you're a big French toast fan. This is going to lead to some contention.
It's so good. I love me some French
toast.
Because
I do not care for the French toast.
I've got to body you there. Corned beef hash versus sausage. I like corned beef hash, and I don't like sausage, but I'm not like, I know you are in on sausage, so I won't fight you on it.
Yeah, I like sausage. I think it's good.
I can't do it. I think my issue with sausage is like, if I get the sausage that I like, I'll eat it, but it's very, very hit or miss for me. Like there's some sausages that I
Sounds like bacon.
Sausage patties are good, but I don't like the
chicken sausage patties they have.
Yes,
here.
Sure.
Oof, so good. Yeah,
Next
I'm in.
Pancakes versus scrambled eggs. This is a big matchup.
It's pancakes for me. Pancakes are the highlight of breakfast.
Pancakes are big.
It is the hoss of breakfast. Pancakes.
I clicked it. Next up, over easy eggs, fried eggs versus English muffin. I'm pretty indifferent, so if you have an opinion.
I think the English muffin goes through because fried eggs are not my favorite kind of egg. Agree. And you can put jam on an English muffin if you want it alone.
Agree. French toast versus sausage. I'm a big
it's better
French
than sausage.
Yeah, okay, good. I'm a big French toast guy. Next, we got pancakes versus English muffin. Pancakes is going through.
Pancakes is
this.
a monster.
This is where we're gonna get into a problem because I would pick French toast. However, I think bar for bar, item for item, French toast is better than pancakes. But I think chocolate chip pancakes and French toast are level. But
so if I had to rank the breakfast food, I would or this type of breakfast food, I would do pancakes, I would do waffles, and then I would do French toast.
Nah.
I know you would do French toast, pancakes, then waffles, correct?
Yeah, correct.
I say pancakes has a higher net ranking.
I will give you pancakes just because I can get chocolate chip pancakes.
You can get behind pancakes.
Yeah,
I just can't get behind French toast. I don't feel satisfied with it.
French toast is so good. You got to get. I'll throw it after. They have at this place near me that well, it used to be near me. They have this crunch French toast where they coat it in like cereal, so it's like crunchy. It's very good. Breakfast sandwich versus pancakes.
Initial thoughts.
I love pancakes, but breakfast sandwich is so good.
For me, this is a contest of am I driving to work or am I sitting down at a weekend breakfast?
Sure. Yes.
Because if I'm going out and I'm sitting at a restaurant, pancakes are like the highlight.
I agree. However, I am not ordering pancakes usually. I am ordering a skillet or like eggs, potatoes, meat. Yeah.
You're not getting pancakes on top of all that?
Sometimes I will, but if I'm just getting one thing, I will either get French toast if I'm in the mood for something sweet, or like a skillet if I'm in that mood.
I'm thinking about it now. I'm kind of bummed. Remember when we were in Vegas and we never got to go to that breakfast place? Remember we went? Yes. It was like a 2-hour wait.
Yeah, that was lame. I will say I think the peak of a good breakfast sandwich is better than the peak of pancakes. Like the best of the best, I think the breakfast sandwich clears.
Really?
Yeah. Well, it's like pancakes are great, but there's only so much you can do with pancakes. Like you can swap out you can get toast, you can get a bagel, you can get an English muffin, you can get different types of eggs on it, you can get bacon, you can get sausage, you can get ham, you can change it with cheese. Like you can add avocado to a breakfast sandwich. There's a breakfast sandwich place near us where I added a hash brown, avocado, bacon, egg, cheese. Like there's just so much you can do with a breakfast sandwich.
You've convinced me because I went out last weekend. We went out and got breakfast sandwiches, and they had some fire stuff in there.
Like I get an Asiago cheese bagel with avocado, a hash brown, like a McDonald's hash brown, egg, cheese, and bacon from this place near me, and it's fucking the goat. And
I had the craziest Asiago bagel I've ever had the other day. Like it had like almost double the surface area because there was so much extra cheese.
That's fucking nuts. But yeah, I'd lean breakfast sandwich.
Crown it champion. I've been convinced.
Phenomenal. Love it.
I'm satisfied with our Final Four. I'm satisfied with the way that this one played out. I think it was a fairly picked bracket.
We thought it out well. Credit that. Cool. We did the rat list with Tyler earlier in the show. Any final thoughts, Sam, before we get out of here?
No. So I'll wrap it up here. Game tonight. Jack and I will be live at 5:30 before tip-off. We'll be back tomorrow morning to recap the absolute showcase that is Celtics Wizards. But subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit the notification bell. Don't miss any of our daily uploads because we're coming at you with these pods Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. Talking C's is live Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Monday, Wednesday is 11 a.m. Fridays are subject to last-minute planning. You can also find us on Spotify and Apple. Follow us there for the full pods and game recaps right to your inbox, audio only. If you want, you can reach out to us via email. hbtcpod@gmail.com is the way to do so. You saw RJ did it today. Be like RJ and reach out. You can find us on socials at How About Them C's. Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok are all that handle. The Facebook is just the name of the podcast. You can find our streams there. They're on YouTube as well and Twitter. Jack's Twitter is at JackSimoneNBA. Mine is at Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us.
Tic-tac-toe.